years, these municipalities have collectively received almost 100 billion rand to fix and replace their ailing infrastructure.
For the past couple of years, and even for the next few years, a lot of money has been spent and a lot of money has been earmarked to support these municipalities.
Matye says there are more than 500 active projects in the identified distressed municipalities.
Yes, there are issues. Some projects are delayed, some projects get stopped, but one cannot say that there is no work happening on the ground.
The department says there are statutory limits to the interventions it can make to ensure municipal councils deliver water to its residents. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Violence continues to rock the Western Cape with more murders reported in under 24 hours. In Kraaifontein, 3 men were set alight in a suspected vigilante attack last night. This is the same community where 4 women were killed in separate attacks this week. Police spokesperson Andre Trout.
At approximately 2200 hours, police were alerted to the incident in La Boheme Street, Wallasdean, where the bodies of the victims were discovered. Preliminary information suggests that the victims were accused by community members of criminal activity. Instead of allowing the law to take its course, they were violently attacked.
Meanwhile, 2 people were killed and another person was injured during separate shootings in what is believed to be taxi-related violence. Wesley Twigg says a 61-year-old man was killed in Nyanga, and 10 minutes later, a 42-year-old man was also murdered in another was wounded in Browns Farm.
A 42-year-old male was shot and fatally wounded, and a 34-year-old male injured. Police members responded to a complaint of a shooting, and upon arrival on the scene, they found the victims with gunshot wounds to their bodies. The motive for the attack is believed to be taxi-related. The yet-to-be-identified suspects are yet to be arrested.
The High Court in Pretoria is set to hear a legal battle between convicted killer Thabo Bester and his accomplice Nandi Pamakutumana and streaming service Netflix. The jury is trying to interdict the broadcast of a documentary series about them due to be released tomorrow. The matter is set to be heard on an urgent basis. Khomotso Modisa reports.
Thabo Bester claims the documentary titled Beauty and the Bester makes serious, unfounded and defamatory submissions against him. In a statement from his lawyers, he argues that the documentary is riddled with falsehoods, selective editing, and is character assassination under the guise of a documentary. His lover and accomplice, disgraced Dr. Nandi Pamakutumana, recently joined his legal bid to stop the screening of the docu-series tomorrow as planned and advertised. But this is not the first time that the pair has tried to block the airing of a production about them. Last year, the Johannesburg High Court dismissed their attempt to have a Showmax documentary canned, with Judge Stuart Wilson ruling that Bester's lawyers failed to convince him that his right to a fair trial would be prejudiced by the screening of the series. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
And Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Jassim Al Thani has called for Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu to be brought to justice for state terrorism following a deadly Israeli air attack on Doha. Qatar says it will continue its role as a trusted and impartial mediator in the region and beyond. Israel attempted to kill the political leaders of Palestinian group Hamas with the attack in the Qatari capital Doha this week, escalating its military action in what the US has described as an attack that does not advance American and Israeli interests. The airstrike took place shortly after Hamas claimed responsibility for a shooting on Monday that killed 6 people at a bus stop on the outskirts of Jerusalem. The Qatari Prime Minister says they are working on resuming Gaza ceasefire talks, and they've urged Israel to not exploit a truce with Iran on the blocked strip. Gold is trading at $3,631.45 an ounce. The rand is at 17.49 to the dollar, 23.65 to the pound, 20.45 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.36 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is just as you approach Rivonia Road exit while traveling on the N3 South. Bumper-to-bumper traffic between Linksfield Road and the Yearlands interchange. Obviously, this is due to that accident right near Van Buren Road, and it's still causing those long queues. So please be on the lookout and try to avoid.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Roads in and around Coronationville have been blocked with the rocks and burning tyres as service delivery protests continue this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. It's Thursday, the 11th of September. It's wonderful to have you with us here on 702. I hope you are good this morning. 011-883-0702. That's the number to dial this hour on the 702 open line. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Now, should the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, be subpoenaed to appear before the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating the allegations that he made of corruption and political interference in the criminal justice system? Well, the committee has decided that it won't subpoena him. Instead, it will wait for him to appear before the Nhlanhla Commission first and then come to the committee. Remember, Mkhwanazi is currently consulting with the evidence leaders from the Nhlanhla Commission ahead of its anticipated start on the 17th of September. He has since told the parliamentary inquiry that the Nhlanhla Commission has locked him in until the 24th of September, which then means he would only be available to the committee after that date. But the EFF leader, Julius Malema, is unhappy about this. And I get the point that he makes. I don't entirely agree that General Mkhwanazi must be subpoenaed. I mean, because he's not refusing to appear before Parliament, right? He has just been locked until the 24th by the Nhlanhla inquiry. And he says, well, I can come afterwards. And he was also booked first by the Nhlanhla inquiry. I mean, if the committee really wanted him first, they should have established this ad hoc committee quickly and asked him to appear. But here's where I agree with Julius Malema. And before I say that, take a listen to what he said in Parliament yesterday.
I don't understand why would someone say the commission has already subpoenaed General Mkhwanazi, therefore we can't subpoena, we must not subpoena because it's undesirable, but it's desirable for other people to subpoena. It's irrational, it's unreasonable. So the reality is that, and I'm doing this deliberately because I know you are scared for Mkhwanazi to come and appear before that committee. And if it was of your own making, Mkhwanazi was not going to appear before that committee. So you are playing with the public. You established a committee, creating an impression that you are doing something when you are doing nothing. You are busy over nothing. So the reality of the situation is that you don't want Mkhwanazi. And even when that time comes, you are going to start other excuses. There is nothing that stops Mkhwanazi from coming to us. You have now created an impression that this commission is bigger than us. And we as Parliament must be going to the commission. The commission people never say, let's go to Parliament to hear what that Parliament is saying.
Yeah, you're creating an impression that this commission is bigger than us. And that's a debate I want us to have this morning. Which of these two inquiries needs to take precedence? So there's a bigger question here about which inquiry is more important in the context of accountability and in the context of who has the authority and the power to hold public officials accountable. Just hear me for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to go to your calls and WhatsApps and hear what you think. I want to argue that the parliamentary inquiry should take precedence. It shouldn't be seen as junior or inferior to the Nhlanhla Commission. One, because it's Parliament that's constitutionally obligated to hold the executive and these public officials accountable, not the Nhlanhla Commission. In fact, the commission only exists to probe further and to hold public hearings and investigate and make mere recommendations to the president. All commissions don't have the powers to make binding recommendations. Remember what Advocate Matthew Chuckleson, senior counsel, said, who is one of the evidence leaders of the Nhlanhla inquiry?
The question was, are our findings binding? And there the law is clear, our findings are not binding. All that we can do is make a recommendation to the president. Our recommendation doesn't bind the president, it doesn't bind the people in respect of whom we make those recommendations or make those findings.
So, the Nhlanhla Commission's findings are not binding, and it can only make recommendations to the president, who is not even forced to implement them. Any other commission doesn't make binding recommendations. So, if the president doesn't implement the recommendations of the commission, he hasn't broken the law. But Parliament, on the other hand, has no choice but to vote on a report that comes out of the ad hoc committee and also implement it. And if it votes against an ad hoc committee report, like it did with the Phala report, even though there was an independent panel commissioned by Parliament that found that there's prima facie evidence of impeachment against the president, you can still take that to court. I mean, none of us can take the president to court now for not implementing some of the State Capture Commission recommendations, can you? But if Parliament comes out with a report and there is a party in Parliament that feels that the decision of the National Assembly was not rational, they can go to court. And that's why the EFF, for instance, has gone to court on the Phala report, even though it was from an independent panel commissioned by Parliament. And that's, of course, slightly different because the report, as I say, it's from an independent panel and not from an ad hoc committee. But the point is, there are many other committees. I mean, there's been investigations or inquiries on the SABC. I think scope is going to start rough. There's been ones on ESCOM. I can go on and on. But the point is, the decisions of Parliament can be challenged. Whether they vote, the parliamentarians vote in support of or against that report, that must still be a rational decision. So again, I ask, if that is really the case, if there are more chances of there being accountability through a parliamentary process rather than a commission of inquiry, why then are we not saying Mkhwanazi must prioritize the parliamentary inquiry? I think what takes precedence here should be the parliamentary inquiry, especially in the context of ensuring accountability. How do you see it? What are your thoughts? And of course, something to consider here is that politicians are not really in the search of truth, right? What makes the Nhlanhla Commission, I suppose, good in this sense is that they've got experienced lawyers, they get to the bottom of the truth. But what happens at the end? They release a report and the president can decide whether to implement those recommendations or not. Whereas with Parliament, it's tricky. If they decide not to, you and I, or any other party out there, especially those in Parliament, can go and challenge that decision. How do you see it? Give me a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. At 10 o'clock, I'm really excited because today on our Hanging Out feature, we're going to be hanging out with music royalty, one of South Africa's most treasured voices, Letta Mbulu. She is an award-winning musician. She's been at it for how long now? Probably like 60 years doing this music thing. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to do our Thursday dialogue. And today we're asking, how successful has the Political Killings Task Team been in its mandate since its establishment? Because yes, there are some arrests that have been made that are suggesting that there are some successes from this Political Killings Task Team, but there are other people that have complained that the task team has been a law unto itself, and it's mismanaged funds as well. So we're going to have the police to tell us about the successes of the Political Killings Task Team. We're going to have Mary de Gaas as well, who's one of the people that have complained about the task team, who argued it shouldn't even exist. And I wonder which side of the coin you fall here. That's a conversation and a debate we're going to have on our Thursday dialogue at 11 o'clock. That's the show coming up over the next 3 hours.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Morning, Clemmy. Flores here from the beautiful Western Cape. Clemmy, no, I don't think he should be subpoenaed. Let me tell you, unfortunately, we have two committees or commissions that are running parallel at the moment. And I don't think the ad hoc committee want to duplicate. So they want to maybe ask other questions that he already has answered at the Nhlanhla Commission. So no. I'm one of those who said no, he should not be subpoenaed to appear before the ad hoc committee. Have a great show. Bye-bye.
Clement, I don't think Mkhwanazi should be summoned to the parliament because already Nhlanhla Commission came before this parliamentary holding.
Good morning, Clement and the listeners. Jabu Chilwane in Mkondo. To answer your question is that no, General Mkhwanazi should not be subpoenaed. And I would like to congratulate the committee responsible in Parliament for deciding that they should not subpoena him because he is not actually refusing to come. It's a matter of time. He should attend the Nhlanhla Commission first, and then he will come to the parliamentary committee. Those who are pushing for him to be submitted are just drama kings and queens. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I want us to move away from whether he should be summoned or not, right? Because it's subpoenaed, because the decision has been taken, he won't. I want us to have a more bigger and nuanced conversation about what should take precedence, given, especially I'm asking here, I'm specific, in the context of accountability. So if we're saying that he must go spend the whole month or whatever at the Nhlanhla Commission, is it worth the time when he could actually come and spend that time at a parliamentary inquiry that's going to ultimately end up in there being accountability? Remember with the Nhlanhla report as well, where Parliament, the ANC was using its majority to try and protect the former President Jacob Zuma. What did the Constitutional Court say? They ruled that Parliament failed in its obligation to hold the executive accountable. And I'm saying, based on that precedent that was sent by the Constitutional Court and the reminder of Parliament's constitutional obligations, it is that parliamentary inquiry that takes precedent over a commission which is, yes, important, but at the end of the day, we can't guarantee that it's going to lead to accountability. Kuli, you're calling from Pretoria. What's your argument? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Sure.
I'm fine. Look, let's to begin with, there should not have been two processes. Let's be honest, guys. In the event, for example, that the two processes reach a different conclusion, then where must we rely on? And already the president has already established a commission and put the resources there. So Parliament should do the honorable thing and leave the commission processes to continue and then stand back and then not create a parallel process that will confuse the system. Even in the courts, we've got the lower courts, the higher courts, and the other supreme courts. So that process is designed for the purpose that we don't want to subject people to two processes. So it's unfair to subject General Mkhwanazi to two processes. You go and both are inquiries. Why can't we leave one inquiry to run? And unless the politicians have got their own intention that they know that what agenda are they driving, they should at least respect one process to continue.
So which one do you think is important, Kuli? Which one do you think should have then been established and which one shouldn't have?
The commission is specially created for this purpose. That's what we must leave. If they had a problem with it, they should have opposed the commission because we have also already invested the resources. So we invest the resources and then we create the other parallel processes. What is their intention?
So if the commission comes out with recommendations and they say the police minister must be fired, the political killing team must be protected, and the president doesn't implement that, and then what? You know that you can't force the president to implement the recommendations of a commission?
Yes, and then that's where we will take it from there. Then other institutions, other bodies, they can force the president through the court processes or any other measures. Then they will be working on that document, not to work on two documents. We'll have the document from Parliament, we'll have the document from the Commission. Then the other, if the other document absolves me, I'm going to rely on the one that absolves me and say, this is what the Parliament had found.
But the Parliament can't stop doing its work because there's a commission out there or some human rights organization or public protector's investigation that's underway. In fact, let me ask you this question using your analogy.
Yes.
Should the police act on the political killings task team dockets right now? Should they be investigating those dockets right now while the commission is sitting investigating the same thing? So should the political killings task team continue with looking into the dockets and arresting people as they have been doing recently?
Yes, because the commission is dealing with
that's precisely my point. You are talking about two different institutions here. You are arguing now to me that the police, which is a separate institution from the Commission of Inquiry, must continue with their work while the inquiry as well is going to investigate the same thing. And I'm making that same analogy to you in terms of Parliament. Parliament, it's a separate institution. It must do its work. It can't stop doing its work because the president has established a Commission of Inquiry. It is constitutionally obligated to take up this matter and investigate it.
No, Clement, you are misleading yourself. The police are investigating criminality, and the commission is going beyond that because it's an inquiry into the conduct and all sorts of things. So these things can run parallel because we cannot have people continue killing people in the name of criminality and then we say, oh, we are waiting for the commission. No, it doesn't work like that. But the inquiries of the Matanga and that of the parliament are more of a similar nature. So the one can stop and allow the other to continue. But this one is criminality. People have died in this one. So the commission go beyond that.
Yeah.
The commission go beyond that because they investigate the conduct and then how do we even deal with the management. But the police in their criminal investigation, they don't go even investigating how the police should conduct themselves. They are not doing that. That's why there is no issue for the police to continue with their work because
I hear that. Of course, I agree that that's a criminal point. I suppose the point I'm making is that those dockets are very much central to the Commission of Inquiry, which is why the president was upset that the dockets are being returned to the political killings task team, which is why the acting police commissioner, Firoz Kachalia, also raised issues about that decision. The point I was trying to make is that two processes can run parallel each other. The president was wrong, as I indicated earlier this week, in my view, to even want to try and interfere in such an operational matter. If there are dockets there, some of whom are awaiting arrest, why would you tell the police, pause there, let the commission deal with this first? Equally so, why would you tell Parliament, pause there, let the commission deal with this thing? No. A parliamentary inquiry or Parliament as an institution is not inferior or somehow junior to a commission of inquiry. And I'm arguing that if you are serious about accountability, if you are serious about ensuring that there's going to be consequence management, your best bet at this point is with Parliament than with the commission, because you know that there have been commissions that gave reports. And did the president or the government at hand implement those recommendations? Mansipani, you're calling from the East Rand. What are your thoughts? Hi.
Morning, Clement. I also share the same sentiments as you to say the parliamentary inquiry should take precedence in this instance because it has more tools, it has more powers than the commission. And Julius, to a certain degree, has a point. The only disadvantage here, Clement, is that the commission would have spoken to Mkhwanazi first, which almost puts us at a different angle now to say, well, he has already been booked to go and present his case there. In this case, there's nothing that Parliament can do except to wait for him to finish doing what he's doing on the other side. Only then he can come in and present his issues into the parliamentary inquiry. But definitely, parliamentary inquiry should take precedence. That is the only body that can hold everyone accountable, including the president himself. What if in hindsight, Ramaphosa knew that the inquiry does not even have any power to do anything?
All right.
Exactly. Hence now we hear him interfering with the process.
All right, Mansipani in the East Rand, thank you for your thoughts. Dumisani in Germiston, what do you think?
My question is to those who are familiar with the law. Look, if there are four arms of state that want Mkhwanazi to testify before them. There's a task team there. There's a public protector. There's a ad hoc committee, and there's Judge Nhlanhla Commission. My question is:
Did you say the task team?
The task team is busy doing its work on those 121.
Yeah, but Mkhwanazi doesn't need to appear before that task team. It's got nothing to do with it.
Okay. So my question to those who are familiar with the law: let's say Mkhwanazi choose to testify as it is going to the Judge Nhlanhla Commission.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is his evidence or his testimony won't be prejudicate, so that will limit the other arms of state to use those evidence. I mean, because if he goes to the commission and ad hoc committee wants him, I mean, those are the commission will say that no, we are busy with him, and then and the evidence that is there is sub judice. I mean, the ad hoc committee can use it, or it's got limited powers because it's sub judice, and also the public protector. My question is, can they not share the information if possible, or else because it is the same testimony that Mkhwanazi is going to give to all of those.
I did ask the Nhlanhla Commission spokesperson that question earlier this week, whether or not they will complement each other in that they may even share some evidence. But remember, these are completely independent processes. I mean, Parliament has a separate mandate and even in terms of reference to that of the commission of this Nhlanhla Commission of Inquiry. So, I mean, if the General Mkhwanazi decides that the statement that I gave to the Nhlanhla Commission, I'm going to give the same statement to the Parliamentary Inquiry, it's on him to do that. But that can't be the expectation that because you've been there, just bring that statement here. The Commission of Inquiry needs to do its work. The Parliamentary Inquiry needs to do its work in preparing the General Mkhwanazi as well. Dumisani, you're in Johannesburg. What do you think? Hi. Oh, sorry, Sbusiso, you're in Johannesburg. Hi.
Morning, Clement. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Lovely. Yeah, thanks for the perspective. I think it also got me thinking as well, especially when you asked between the two commissions, which one really... I think based on history, I definitely edge towards making the parliamentary one more of a precedent, especially with the parents' views, with the different political parties that are sitting there. But also, I find that the Nhlanhla Commission might add value, given the fact that we've got legal experts in a commission. And I feel like the output from the commission can go into the parliamentary one. But definitely, in my view, I think we probably need both of them. I think the Nhlanhla one because of the experts that are involved there, and then the parliamentary one because of the mandate that they have, that the president. So let's out advocate both of them to given the balance of being able to hold the president accountable, and also given the fact that we've got the right experts to cross-question these people correctly. I think that's the view that I want to pick up.
Yeah, and Sbusiso, I think that's a fair view, especially what you're pointing out to, that with the Nhlanhla, you've got these experts. They know how to investigate, how to uncover the truth. So there's a lot we're going to find out from the Nhlanhla Commission that you may not find out from a parliamentary inquiry, for instance. So I think Sbusiso in Johannesburg makes a point. As much as I think it's fair, I still think that the parliamentary inquiry takes precedence here. And that's not to say that the Nhlanhla Commission must not exist. As Busiso says, there's a benefit in having that as well. It's 9:31. Let's take the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. We're going to come back with more of your thoughts, your inputs. Your calls on 011-883-0702, your WhatsApps as well. Sfiso, hi.
Thanks, Clements. Good morning. We start with news just in. The Constitutional Court has ruled that husbands can now take their wives' surnames. This ruling explored the Births and Deaths Registration Act and regulations that had governed that the implementation of the act do not allow husbands to assume their wives' last names. The Free State Division of the High Court last year declared the statute unconstitutional to the extent that it discriminated on the basis of gender, and two husbands and their wives approached the Apex Court for a confirmation of this constitutional invalidity. National government has directed the city of Johannesburg to immediately put measures in place to deal with water supply challenges in affected areas. Residents on the West Rand are continuing with their protests over water shortages for more than 2 weeks. Stun grenades and rubber bullets were fired at protesting groups yesterday. And EFF leader Julius Malema has slammed Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption for being toothless by not forcing KwaZulu-Natal top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to appear before it. Malema says Mkhwanazi must appear before the parliamentary hearings, even while he is giving evidence to the police inquiry, which is set to begin hearings next Wednesday. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, travelling on the N3 South, we still have got delays. This is between Linksfield Road and Van Buren Road. And if you're travelling along the N12 as well as the R24 West, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Barber Road and the Kilulis interchange. If you're heading towards Selby, delays on the M2 West between the Geldenes interchange and Silver Street. There's also queuing traffic on the M2 West between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road. This is as you head towards Amalgam. And then travelling on the M1 South, coming out of Greyston Drive, an accident near Corlett Drive causing those long queues from Marlborough Drive. Please be on the lookout.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Avi Josie 2025 is back, where creativity and technology meet. Join us at Summer Place in Hyde Park, Johannesburg, from the 13th to the 14th of September for cutting-edge masterclasses, workshops, live demos in film, animation, VFX, AI, gaming, and interactive tech. This year's theme, Heart of Steel, celebrates bold creators striving in the age of AI and disruption. Expect local and international experts to share their knowledge in workshops, tech showcases, game jams, portfolio reviews, and interactive sessions. And it's completely free. Register now at avijosie.com.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
So, Taryn, you've just graduated cum laude, but nothing says you're a genius quite like selling your car to We Buy Cars.
Absolutely. My car was an 18th birthday present, and it's time to move on to something a bit more mature.
So where did you hear about We Buy Cars?
All of my friends are using We Buy Cars. I would have had legit FOMO if I hadn't used them. And it was so quick. I did it on my laptop while sending around my CV.
Smart move, Taryn. Graduated and upgraded. We Buy Cars. Geared for success. Geared for you.
At Trinity House, authentic Christian values empower our students to succeed together. With passionate teachers and expert coaches, we support your child in reaching their full potential in the classroom and in life. Join us for our open day on Saturday, 13 September from 9 to 12 at our campuses in Centurion, Glen Vista, Rand Park Ridge, and Little Falls. RSVP now at trinityhouse.co.za. Trinity House, succeeding together. Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
It's 24 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. And we're taking your calls, we're taking your WhatsApps as well on the parliamentary inquiry versus this Nhlanhla inquiry. Not to argue that one or the other must not exist, but just which one is more important in terms of accountability, right? In terms of consequence management. But also, I'm interested in your thoughts around this Constitutional Court judgment. It's breaking news. Justice Theron was reading the judgment now, and they've ruled that husbands can now take their wives' surnames. Yeah? This ruling explored the Births and Deaths Registration Act and the regulations that had governed the implementation of the act do not allow husbands to assume their wives' last names. Remember, the Free State Division of the High Court last year declared the statute unconstitutional to the extent that it discriminates on the basis of gender. And the two husbands and wives, there were those who approached the Apex Court for a confirmation of this constitutional invalidity. So now, there you have it. As a husband, you can take your wife's surname. And I was saying to Abel earlier that unless you're a Mandela or a Motsepe or a Dangote, nah, and easy. Where do you stand on this one? Are you ready to do this? 011-883-0702. 23 minutes now before 10 o'clock.
Your voice. Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
By the way, did you see what happened in America yesterday? My goodness. Charlie Kirk is a right-wing youth activist and a big, big Trump ally. He was assassinated yesterday at a U.S. university. I mean, this is a man who's considered a rock star in conservative campus politics. He was an advocate of gun rights, of conservative values, an outspoken critique of transgender rights, and a staunch, unapologetic Donald Trump supporter. And as sad as it is, his killing is both another episode of shocking gun violence in America, but also a reminder of just how hectic the political environment in America is. He was actually talking about gun violence when he was shot dead in the neck. And interestingly, he was well known for defending the Second Amendment rights, right? Including making statements that, some gun deaths are an unavoidable cost of preserving that freedom, that Second Amendment right. And now you've got many people revisiting those remarks amid this tragedy. And of course, people are going to raise the fact that he fiercely defended the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, because he's maintained that it's worth to have the cost of, unfortunately, gun violence every year, so they can have the Second Amendment. And his critics have always accused him of being dismissive of the human toll of gun violence, especially in contexts like when you see like school shootings where children are victims of this level of gun violence. But now that he has fallen, you could argue, prey to the same gun violence, many people can't help now but see the ironic full circle moment in this tragic incident. But how hectic is this? How hectic is the level of intolerance in America? The public violence there is just shocking. This man was just 31 years old. He was so passionate about his views. He had a huge following. I actually followed some of his podcasts. What I liked about him is that he always encouraged debates with people who opposed his views. In fact, I would like to encourage you to go listen to a podcast or even watch it on YouTube. A podcast that I truly enjoyed. It's called Jubilees Surrounded. He was a guest on that podcast. So Jubilees Surrounded is like you come there as a guest and you sit there and you're surrounded by people who basically hate you and hate your views. And they challenge you one by one. And he was a lone conservative against 20 woke college students who were defending 4 claims that Charlie made. One, abortion is murder. That's what he said. College is a scam. Trans women are not women. And Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate. So these are the claims he made. And there were these 20 woke college students who challenged him so hard. Go check it out. But what a sad moment, dark moment for America, as Trump called it.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
Your voice. Your station. Your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
Morning, Clement. I am shocked about this judgment. You know, our government and our constitution is just taking us astray. Because, I mean, if I'm going to take my woman's surname, it means she's got to marry me. She's the one that has to pay the lobola and arrange everything. You know, I have to be married. She's the one that has got to be paid. They've got the woman's family must now come and negotiate marriage, my marriage with her, so that the surname can be hers. That's the thing. What about Madros? What about ancestors? You know, and a while ago, the court even ruled that paying the damages is unconstitutional because one lady didn't want to give access, the father the access to his child because of he didn't pay the damages. The court said it's unconstitutional. What's going on in South Africa? Photo from the lady. Aibo.
Hi, Clement. It's Gatlaga from Davidson. With regards to the taking of names or your wife's name, I don't think, at least I don't think that I would do that. Rather, I would keep our own surnames. There's no way I'm going to take on my future wife's surname. I don't know. Maybe I'm backwards in my thinking, but nah.
Why though?
No, I won't.
But why? Like, is it enough to just say, oh, I won't? Why? I mean, unless you've got cultural reasons, like the first voice note who mentions Amadlozi, unless there are cultural reasons, you know, or religious reasons why you don't do that. But why?
Hi, Clement. This is Karas Mabulana and Polokwane. On the Constitutional Court ruling that now men can take their wives' surnames, I personally think each should keep their surname. But when it comes to kids should inherit their mother's names, looking at the contribution that they made for the birth of the children. I mean, having to go through the 9 months of pregnancy, the painful birth experience, it only makes sense that kids take their mother's surname. What do you think? Thank you.
Well, yeah, the Constitutional Court has now ruled. Husbands, you can now take your wives' surnames.
Your voice. Your station. Your open line. Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela on 702.
Let's go back to your calls on 011-883-0702. Koketso, you're calling from the East End. Good morning.
Yes, morning, Clement.
Sure. What do you want to say about this parliamentary inquiry versus Nhlanhla Commission?
Yeah, I think for me, the parliamentary inquiry is more important actually than the Nhlanhla Commission. Because often, with the commissions we've seen, they do give recommendations, and these people are not obligated to implement the recommendations. I mean, the Morani Commission is one of the good commissions that happened, right? But none of the things from the commission, most of the things were not actually implemented by the people. So I think Parliament has more teeth in the sense that Parliament has the MPs who are the legislators. So they're the ones that can actually table bills and change the law, and the law is the one that actually enables, the executive to function. So for me, Parliament, when it comes to this, it's actually the most important because they can look at where is the weaknesses that we have in the laws that actually allow for this type of rampant criminality to flourish in the justice system, the criminal justice system. They can start to really unpack it and pass laws that actually tighten it. So I think for me, I agree with Nhlanhla to say Parliament, unfortunately, we are witnessing what has happened in previous years where it's been weakened, because they're supposed to be the oversight of the executive. So where the executive is failing, which we all admit in this country that the executive is failing, isn't it? In the type of laws that they pass, the type of bills they table, how they govern the country, they're failing. Yeah. So Parliament is actually the one that should step up and correct it. But because now Parliament itself is also compromised with people who are basically there to rubber stamp what the executive is doing. That's why you see the almost like the three systems of government not working. Where it's the judiciary, it's Parliament, and then it's the executive.
Yeah, got it. Koketo in the Eastern, thank you. Sati in Alberton, what are your thoughts?
Good morning, Clement.
Ah.
Nice to a very good topic.
Thank you.
I'd like to, add my view. I think the parliamentary committee is the right way. Once Mkhwanazi goes there and gives his evidence at that committee, if he can convince that committee, I'm sure we'll see action. You just got to look at the Zondo Commission. All those people implicated there are still smiling, walking around freely. Nothing has been done to them because the police, the NPA, and even the president himself is not prepared to act on those recommendations. So I think the best route would be, we have a man who's actually stood up for all South Africans, and the best place for him is the parliamentary committee.
Got it. Sati in Alberton, thank you. Aaron in Mamelodi, what do you think?
Good morning. Yeah, Clemens, my view is that what should actually drive us as to which of the two is the best is the question as to which one that it's going to make the factual inquiry. I'm not saying that the parliamentary is not going to make a factual inquiry, but what I'm saying here is that Parliament is going to be loaded with much more political noise than factual finding, and the commission. Most people who are going to be there, they don't have vested interest at all, and they are experienced and will get much more facts. So the focus should be on fact rather than accountability for now. So accountability is something that will cross later on.
Okay, Aaron in Mamelodi, thank you for your contribution. 12 minutes before 10.
702 Afternoons
With Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
There was this personal finance for entrepreneurs clinic. There were all these certified financial planners that were sharing how to manage personal wealth alongside building a business. I'm curious as to if there is a way we can actually build our personal wealth by treating ourselves like businesses.
Well, that's exactly the message that we sort of get across to the business owners that we work with. So a big part of what we're doing with founder and entrepreneur clients is taking that mindset which they intuitively understand and applying it to their personal finances, setting those goals, being strategic, monitoring key metrics and helping them to move forward in terms of the project of their personal finances.
Rory Bratchner, founder of Dutch Guide.
702 Afternoons
With Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Away, could I courier this pair of custom flame graffiti chucks? One of a kind, bruh.
Sure, fire. Where your guy, my guy?
My recipe book with all my secrets.
Those secrets are safe with us. We're your guy.
Can I send my beanbag chair? It's shaped like a fat cook.
Of course you can. We're your guy. With over 4,000 fast and flexible ways of couriering your parcel locally and internationally, whatever you need couriered, we're your guy. The Courier Guy. Visit thecourierguy.co.za.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Mzansi, the wait is finally over. The Great South African Sale is here. Explore more for less with up to 50% off travel deals. Surf the waves, hike the hills, enjoy Gasi, and explore the wild. Book from 8 to 14 September 2025. Visit shortleft.co.za to book now and travel later. After all, it's your country. Enjoy it. Because nothing's more fun than a short left. Hashtag TravelWise Mzansi. T's and C's apply.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
9 minutes before 10 o'clock. Tulani, you are in Centurion. What do you want to say about Charlie Kirk?
Clement, good morning. I was saying I disagreed on a number of aspects with him. I thought at some point some of his points were very vile and they were very they were disruptive. But that notwithstanding, I respected the man because he was open to debate, and debate is something that I really, really love.
Yeah.
And the manner in which he was taken out is really it is unacceptable by any standard. The other issue I wanted to raise, Clement, is I'm looking forward to calling you Mr. Clement Rapala or Matala. That is after you get married. So when you take...
I'm not, unless you're a Mandela, Tilani. I'm keeping Manyathela.
The last thing, Clement, I once served in one of these commissions, and I'm sure you know that. I'm disenchanted, quite frankly, with the manner in which the outcomes thereof are implemented in this country. And I do not, for 1 minute, I understand the people that actually say it is a waste of time to go for commission of inquiries, because there's nothing that gets implemented out of these things. So for me, I think the best way would have been to leave this thing to the police and to the officials or to the authorities that could investigate it, the outcomes of which could be implemented. Because we know this is just kicking the can down the road. Nothing is going to happen out of this. The Nhlanhla Commission is going to sit for months and maybe even years. Billions are going to be spent, and afterwards, nothing is going to happen. And that's what a lot of South Africans are wary about.
Tulani in Centurion, thank you for your thoughts. Let's go to your WhatsApps.
Morning, Clement. Laura from Serengeti. Charlie Kirk was assassinated from 200 meters away by a trained assassin. This is not the same as defending the Second Amendment right to bear guns and defend yourself. Charlie Kirk's weapon was his voice and his ability to talk and persuade and debate and convince. They shot him on the eve of September 11th in the neck. Ironic.
Hi, Clement. Regarding Charlie Kirk issue, Charlie Kirk was a very divisive individual. And he supported the killing of Palestinian and women, Palestinian children and women. Unfortunately, he made the same fate. You see, so sometimes he had a lot of hate, that guy, a lot of hate, unfortunately. But may his soul rest in peace.
Morning, Clement. Antoine from Rappian. Yes, the Charlie assassination, terrible. It's sad when extremists start changing the direction of the political world. I guess there's a lot of parallels in this country, and a lot of people that have extremist views, and let's hope they don't mess it up for everyone.
Yeah, it's just so sad, man. I really loved this man's brain. I really loved his brain. He was so intelligent, but I also loved that he always encouraged debates. Like, that's why I say go watch Jubilee Surrounded. He's literally sitting there as a conservative surrounded by these woke young college students, and they're very smart, and they take him on, and he was able to really push against their arguments. And as I say, you don't have to agree with him. I mean, I didn't agree even with many of the claims he makes, but I listen to people I don't even agree with. I mean, I always tell you guys how I listen to Candace Owens, as weird as that may sound to some of people, even though I agree probably with 80% of the things she says. I find that that's actually where I learn more. You know, this thing of group thought and wanting to say, cancel this person because he supports Trump or because he believes that this is this. I don't think that helps us. I don't think that makes us a nuanced human beings. Yeah, when you only listen and watch things that you agree with. I think we can do better. And Charlie was one of those people who always encouraged debates with people who opposed his views, people he disagreed with, and he did it in such an incredible, loving way. And I loved how passionate he was about God. He loved Jesus. And he didn't compromise on that. And I just found that to be so cool and so brave and so commendable.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
Morning, Clement. This constitutional judgment,
What about the culture? What about our culture as black people? This is wrong. This is wrong. For me, this is wrong. What about the cultural practice? No, as a country, we're just throwing away our cultural history.
Yeah, Chief Makhanya, you're calling us from Mpumalanga. What do you think? Hi.
Hi, Clement. I think we live in a democratic country, you know, and custodians of our culture, norms, and value systems as chiefs and traditional leaders. We cannot be afraid of change. Now, if the Constitution says that if people are willing to start their own cultures, they are open to do so. In that culture, then those norms and value systems can be adapted.
Yeah.
That is fine. But I think it is bad for them to then do a blanket. It's like a Zulu.
But no one is being forced, Chief Makhanya? They're just saying should you wish to do it, you can. But if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, but then again, there's going to be a conflict here, Clement. That's what I'm trying to outlay to you. Now, yes, no one is forced. But now you cannot then say you are Zulu because you identify with the Zulu culture, norms, and value system. You cannot then call yourself a Zulu or a Xhosa or any of the Nguni cluster. You have to identify a new culture and call yourself that.
But culture evolves, though, Chief Makhanya. What if there are certain aspects of the Zulu culture, or as Mopedi, I disagree with some aspects of my Pedi culture, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to disown that culture and the values that come with that. Shouldn't I have a right to do that?
Yeah, no, you have the right to do that. What I'm trying to say is, Clement, we cannot do a Zuma here, where you say, I want to start a new party, but I want to stick to my old party. It can't happen. You cannot say you are Nguni, and then you say, but no, I do not want, because these things, even when we are identifying a king, or when we are in a process of wanting to be recognized, you have to identify with things in that culture to identify you as a Zulu. Okay. Now, so you can't then say, no, I want to be here, but I'm here. It can't work.
Okay, Chief Makhanya. Let's agree to disagree there. I get your point. I just think culture evolves, and I think we should have the right to say, this part of culture, I don't agree with it, but this I will embrace. But Chief Makhanya says, no, start your own culture then, if you want, but don't claim to be a Zulu, but there's certain aspects of Zulu culture or Pedi culture or Xhosa or Venda that you don't subscribe to. I wish we had more time to debate this. It's a minute before 10.
702 delivers on the matters that matter to you.
I'm Deirdre from Oakden. I've probably been listening to 702 for about 40 years. I listen most of the day, and I really can't imagine my life or my day without 702. I'm kept up to date with all the news, and I must say that I personally believe I hear the news before anybody else. When I hear it on 702, nobody else has heard it yet. And I'd just like to say, keep up the good work.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
So we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
Okay, it's time. An employee review of my FNB Gold Business account. You give me 10 free transactions a month, and you even help me pay my banking fees using eBucks. Batung, unlocking more cash from my salon. No other card does this. You reward me so much, I want to reward you.
The FNB Gold Business account. No other card works harder for your business because your cash flow is worth it. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and earn rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Escape the ordinary at De Hoek Country Hotel, Magaliesburg. A haven of tranquility and a 5-star masterpiece. Unparalleled luxury and the perfect getaway. Just an hour from Joburg and Pretoria. Bring your team for an executive corporate breakaway. Plan an unforgettable wedding surrounded by breathtaking beauty. Indulge in exquisite fine dining and rejuvenate mind and body at our spa. Visit dehoek.com to discover your exclusive escape. De The Hook Country Hotel. Celebrate life where luxury meets serenity.
Pneumococcal disease can strike at any time, especially if you live with a chronic condition or have weakened immunity. If you're 19 and older with a chronic disease, vaccination can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia. The risk increases for people 65 and older, and vaccination is advised to help prevent serious illness. Ask your healthcare professional about pneumococcal vaccination. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Constitutional Court has ruled that husbands can now legally take their wives' surnames. This ruling examined parts of the Births and Deaths Registration Act and its regulations, which had previously prevented husbands from assuming their wives' last names. Two couples approached the Apex Court, arguing that the prohibition served no government purpose. Henry van der Merwe and Andreas Bormann were unable to assume their wives' surnames as their wishes because of the legislation. This morning, the Constitutional Court declares parts of the Births and Deaths Registration Act invalid, saying the law discriminates on the basis of gender. National government has directed the city of Johannesburg to immediately put measures in place to deal with water supply challenges in affected areas. Residents in the West Rand are continuing with their protests over water shortages for more than 2 weeks. Stun grenades and rubber bullets were fired at protesting groups yesterday. Deputy Government Spokesperson William Baloyi has called for calm.
And we want to appeal and urge communities to allow these measures to be carried out without disrupting the workers. The destruction of infrastructure and acts of violence only delay the very solutions that communities are demanding.
EFF leader Julius Malema has slammed Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption for being toothless by not forcing KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to appear before it. Malema says Mkhwanazi must appear before the parliamentary hearings, even while he is giving evidence to the police inquiry, where it is set to begin hearings next Wednesday. The committee received another progress report yesterday in preparation for its hearings, which are expected to start with Mkhwanazi at the end of September. Babalon Denza reports.
Yesterday's discussions centered around Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who is said to be the committee's first witness when it starts its hearings. Parties agreed with Mkhwanazi, despite concerns that his appearance at the Nhlanhla Commission might take precedence. But Julius Malema says they can't allow the committee to be considered less important and called for Mkhwanazi to be subpoenaed.
Even if it means stopping half the way to go and appear into the commission, finish, come back, that's fine. But yes, to come to us without Mkhwanazi, who are toothless, who are useless.
Evidence leader, advocate Norman Arendse, says they've received a positive response from everyone on the witness list, but is concerned that they might only be able to start their hearings in October. Babalon Denza, Eyewitness News.
Public Works Minister Dean McPherson says there's currently no proof to substantiate allegations that parliamentarians received money from the embattled Independent Development Trust. The entity, which implements infrastructure projects on behalf of the department, has been in the spotlight after its suspended CEO, Tebogo Malaka, was captured on secret camera footage, seemingly attempting to offer a bribe to a Daily Maverick investigative journalist, Peter Louis Myburg. McPherson has told Parliament that he's also baffled that Malaka, against whom he laid a criminal complaint, has not yet been arrested. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
Defending the choice of PwC to investigate corruption allegations in a tender for the supply of oxygen at more than 50 hospitals, Minister Dean McPherson yesterday told the National Assembly that it was worth the cost. McPherson says while a whistleblower's claim that MPs received kickbacks from the IDT remains unproven, the conduct of political parties in relation to this matter has been concerning.
To continually repeat false narratives to delegitimize the investigation into the IDT and cover it up.
McPherson says it's up to the IDT board to take disciplinary action against CEO Tebogo Malaka.
There was a clear intent to bribe Mr. Louis Myburg, and I, for one, can't explain why the acting CEO still hasn't been arrested.
McPherson believes the scandal is only the start of more rot that is yet to be uncovered at the trust. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And Ghana's President John Mahama says the country is accepting West Africans deported from the US. The recent deportations of people to third countries has been a hallmark of US President Donald Trump's crackdown on undocumented immigrants. Mahama says Ghana agreed to take in nationals from West Africa, where a regional agreement allows visa-free travel. He says a first batch of 14 people came to Ghana, including several Nigerians who have since returned to their home countries. Gold is trading at $3,631.45 an ounce. The rand is at 17.49 to the dollar, 23.65 to the pound, 20.45 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.36 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M2 West between the Geldenhuys interchange and Silver Street. There's also queuing traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Barber Road and the Kilulis interchange. That's due to an accident seen between these 2 points. And if you're traveling in the Bramley area, an accident on the M1 South near Grayston Drive causing delays. There's also queuing traffic all the way towards Corlett Drive as you head towards Melrose.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees. The breaking story in EWN this hour. The Constitutional Court has ruled that husbands can now legally take their wives' surnames.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
On 702.
Let's Walk the Talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 10 o'clock. Dumelang, welcome to the second hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. And once again, thank you for your incredible contribution on the 702 open line. I always love the open line because you can hear my thoughts, I can hear your perspectives, and we can see if, we can convince each other of our views. And I really appreciate that. So what we're going to do, because there was breaking news around the Constitutional Court ruling that husbands can now take their wives' surnames, and there were some interesting comments that were coming through on the open line. What I want to do when we do our Thursday dialogue at 11 o'clock is, yes, still focus on what we had planned for today, which is to look at the successes of the Political Killings Task Team. But what we'll do is I want us to do that for about 30 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes of the Thursday dialogue, then we look at this breaking news story. And even if we open it and we do an open line where we debate, Chief Makanya made an interesting point that why do you want to change and fickle with culture? If you're Zulu or you're Pedi or you're Xhosa, you can't pick and choose which aspects of that culture you agree with. And I take a slightly different view because I think culture evolves. I think as human beings, we are allowed to choose. I don't subscribe with this, but I'll subscribe with this. Does it make me less of Mopedi for maybe not agreeing with one element of that culture and I am agreeing with the rest of them? So I want us to continue that debate at 11:30 on our Thursday dialogue. So we'll deal with two topics today on our Thursday dialogue. But right now, it's time for our Hanging Out feature.
Hanging Out with Clement
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk.
And today I am hanging out with, as I've been saying throughout this morning, music royalty, Letta Mbulu. She is, if you don't know Letta Mbulu, I don't know. You deserve to go to jail. I'm calling the police to take you to jail. The last time I interviewed her was on Zoom during COVID days. And I did an interview. It was actually ahead of Valentine's Day. And we decided to do an interview with Bab Keifas and Mamleta. It was an incredible one, and I've always said I wanted to come to studio. So she's in studio with us this morning. Thank you so much for making time. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's great because even when I interviewed you on Zoom, I was like, I want to see you here. I want to touch your blood. So I'm so happy to have you here in studio with us.
Oh, thank you.
I have to ask you this, and I know a lot of people probably ask you, how do you get to look like this at your age? There must be something you do.
I don't know.
Is it just the genes?
I honestly don't know. I think it comes from the genes. Yeah. My mother was like this when he passed.
Oh my goodness.
My aunt was like this when she passed, so I guess I'm going to pass like this.
Yeah, and now that I've touched your blood, I hope I can pass like that. I hope I can pass like that. Where are you, do you think, in your musical journey right now? You've been in this industry for how long now? You've been doing music for how many years now?
For about 50-something years.
50-something years.
Yes.
Do you think, because you were at a point where you were releasing, you were writing songs, where would you say you are now? Like, are you just sitting and relaxing and enjoying? Because you have released an EP, which is incredible. I love it.
Thank you.
Where would you say you are musically right now?
Oh, right now, I'm retiring.
Yeah.
I don't want to sing anymore. I just want to watch other people do it. You know?
Yeah.
But a mind is a terrible thing to waste because I still have ideas, of writing. I have songs that I would like to hear other people sing. So it's very difficult to get out of the business.
Right? When you're an artist, you're an artist.
Yeah. Really.
And do you think that you are... Because when you are not responding to that calling, then you are going to be overburdened. You won't have peace.
I definitely won't have peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's bothering me every day.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning. When I'm sleeping,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, there's a song in my head I really want to bring out. But because, the old age also takes over, But I still want to really do something.
Yeah. But you're still so sharp, Mamleta. You're still so sharp. Like, there are people who are your age. I mean, how old are you now?
I'll be 82 September.
I mean, I know 82-year-olds that still struggle just even with, like, how they articulate themselves, for instance. So, by sharp, I mean, your brain is fascinating to me.
Well, I don't know why. I really don't know.
You're very blessed. I hope you know that. You're very, very blessed.
Thank you.
Let's talk about where the journey started for you, because you do come from a musical family.
Yes, I do.
Did they influence you, or even if there was no family that did music, you would have ended up in music?
Yes, I think I would have ended up in music. Well, my mother rather, used to tell me about my grandfather that he used to sing. And every time he sang a song, a church song, he would call all of them, and they would come together and they would sing in the house, in the home. And then my mother, which I experienced, had a fantastic voice, a fabulous voice. But I didn't think that I'm going to be like her, because at the time I wasn't thinking of singing at all, But she was perfect. I used to hear her cleaning the house and this voice like, but it's okay,
What kind of song
my
was
mom.
she singing? Kidifela?
No, she sang like American music. Yeah, she used to sing American music, and I was like, okay, well, you've got a nice voice, but
Really.
really.
And then here you are now.
Yeah.
So when you decided, because there was a big music competition that basically changed your life.
Yeah.
Would you say was that the point where you thought, okay, this is something actually to take seriously and maybe even like consider doing it professionally?
Well, one man actually influenced me in that way, in that direction. I was singing with the kids, the street kids.
Yes.
Around in the afternoon when we finished cleaning the house and cleaning the pots, we would get together and sing under the street light, this was something that we used to do every day.
Yeah.
And this man used to pass by, and you hear us singing. His name is James Mabena. Oh, God rest his soul.
Mm.
And one day he stopped, He said, you guys sing very well.
Mm.
Oh, we looked at him like, oh, okay.
How old were you guys?
I was about probably 12 or 13. Yeah, 13. And he said, you know what? I want to talk to your mother, you in particular. And I was like, okay, yeah. Why? He said, because I have a group of 4 boys by the name of Swing Sports. And I want you to come and join my group. I said, no, my mother would never allow that. And he said, can I come and talk to your mother tomorrow when I pass by here?
Yeah.
And where do you live? I said, my mom is looking at you through the window, and he's, you normally guards us, make sure that nothing happens to us. And the following day, of course, he passed by and he said, can I see your mother? I said, if you want to, you go in. And he did talk to Mom. My mother said, I don't like the idea because, you're singing with 4 boys and my little daughter, we still is going to school, but he persuaded my mom. And finally my mom said, okay, whose child are you really? And he said, well, my father is a priest, Prince Mabena. Oh, my mom said, oh, I know Prince Mabena. On the other street. And he said, okay, maybe you can come try, take her, try her, and see what we can do, but make sure that he goes to school. Because that, I definitely want to see that.
You want to compromise on that.
Right.
That's amazing. Yeah, we're going to continue this conversation as we get to know you better. I want to invite the listeners as well to give us a call. You can call on 011-883-0702. We're celebrating Mama Letta Mbulu this morning. You can also send us your WhatsApp voice notes on 072-702-1702. 18 minutes after 10.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 in brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
This weekend, fun is in full bloom at the Spring Playground at Melrose Arch from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Kids can enjoy the Spring Playground on the pizza in collaboration with Climber Club. From obstacle courses to a jumping castle and giant board games, also to face painting and a trampoline bungee for children over 5. Tickets can be booked on the pizza. And for the adults, there's going to be toe-tapping live entertainment on the square from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So book a table and soak up the sunshine.
Mzansi, the wait is finally over. The Great South African Sale is here. Explore more for less with up to 50% off travel deals. Surf the waves, hike the hills, enjoy Gasi, and explore the wild. Book from 8 to 14 September 2025. Visit shortleft.co.za to book now and travel later. After all, it's your country. Enjoy it. Because nothing's more fun than a short left. #TravelWise Mzansi. T's and C's apply.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Championship Boerewors thick or thin for just $109.99 per kilo. Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone for only 140 Rand per kilo. And Tate's potato chips 125 grams. Buy any 2 for 32 Rand. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
Hanging out with Clement on 702. Let's walk the talk.
20 minutes after 10 o'clock, we're hanging out with Mama Letta Mbulu this morning on our Hanging Out feature. And I've got your WhatsApp voice notes coming on 072-702-1702.
Good morning, Clement. Good morning. And good morning to Mama Letta. Oh, today, Clement, you have brought a legend in the studio. I'm happy to hear Mama Letta on radio today.
You have made my day, Clement, to bring her on studio. She's the legend of our music.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Hariji, Buza. Oh, all those songs. I was listening to them when I was still young. Even today, they are hot.
Wow.
Thank you very much, Clement. You have made my day. I'm very happy. And you know, the last thing, I like they've been married with Babu Kaifas, but you have never had anything wrong about them. They're always good, respectable, humble, polite. What a good couple. What a good couple. Thank you.
Mhlaba wakithi bo, mhlaba wakithi bo, usemindawonye, usemindawonye, akukho mehluko kulelizwe. Qawula maqabanela, qawula maqabanela, wathina singavoti bo, thina singavoti, silale mukukwi, silale mukukwi, akukho mehluko kulelizwe. Qawula maqabanela. You know, Clement, what a legend you have there. Solum Simang, the one we were having interview yesterday, he loved this song. During his campaign last year, he used to play this song wherever he goes. So, yeah, I love this song too. What a legend you have there. Tabiso from Midlands.
Ah, beautiful, Tabiso. Oh, you're taking us back.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, isn't that taking you back? Do you remember when you wrote these songs? Because even like Not Yet Uhuru, these are songs that you play today and you're like, these songs, some of these songs were so prophetic.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhlaba Wakithi, I wrote it after June 16. When I saw the kids being shot at, by the police, school children. And it kind of disturbed my soul a lot. I couldn't deal with it. And I used to watch television every day just to see that, because there was a station called South Africa Now, which used to broadcast a lot of this information. And I decided that I have to do something, because I was away at that time. And that's how the song actually came by.
Well, let's listen to it. What you were doing here, Mamlet, is you were basically declaring in melody what many people felt in their hearts.
Absolutely.
And I suppose that's why so many people relate with the song, because you put words to what many of them were feeling at the time.
That's true. I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And so I knew that the South African people were feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is your biggest song ever?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah?
I really don't know.
Let me ask it this way. What's your favorite? And I know it's an unfair question, but do you have a song that is your all-time favorite of yours that you think, or is it like asking you who's your favorite child?
Yeah, hey, it's difficult. There's one song that I'm actually passionate about.
Yeah.
I mean, to myself, for myself. It's called Nkedama. And that when I listen to it, sometimes I get tears in my eyes because it really talks about a situation that most of the people go through. Yeah. So maybe, that's
maybe
it.
that.
Yeah, maybe that.
Okay. Let's go to some WhatsApps before the headlines.
Hi, Clem and the 702 family. David Sean here. Yo, you've got Mama Letta in studio, Baba. That woman is something else, Baba. She's more than a legend. She reminds me of my late uncle who used to stay in Botswana. That man loved Letta Mbulu and Kefas Semenya. Ndate, Kefas and Mama Letta. Yo, I learned to love them at a very young age. I didn't know who they were, who they are, until I grew into that music, into loving them. Now, hey Baba, you can't tell me nothing. I have all their music with me, and it just reminds me of my late uncle, and just to see how humble these legends are. Yo, I claim, I pick up Baba. No, man, I think you need to do another interview with Mama Letta. You can't get enough of such legends, man.
No.
Have a great show, Clem, as always. Bye.
Thank you.
Good morning, Clement. I don't usually phone or call radio. I usually prefer to listen, but today, just because you brought Mam Letta Mbulu in the studio, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I'm from Mascot. I've been listening to their music together with Ubabu Kaifas, and I love them. They are so inspirational. Their songs are still even relevant even now, and they are good storytellers. Thank you for being Mam Letta Mbulu, Clement. Say hello to her.
10:31, time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. We will continue our conversation with Mam Letta Mbulu and, of course, your calls and your WhatsApps as well. I do want us to also listen to some of the songs that she listens to. Eh? She's got an interesting lineup of songs that are her favorite, so I can't wait for you to hear that. That's what's coming up after the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Sfiso, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. There's been a crash in KwaZulu-Natal involving a taxi that was transporting children in Pietermaritzburg. The police's preliminary reports suggest the driver lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a creche this morning. Transport Department officials say more information will be divulged once families and relevant healthcare professionals have been consulted. The Constitutional Court has this morning ruled that husbands can now legally take their wives' surnames. This ruling examined parts of the Births and Deaths Registration Acts and its regulations, which had previously prevented husbands from assuming their wives' last names. Two couples approached the Apex Court, arguing that the prohibition served no government purpose. And Poland has warned that Russia and Europe are inching towards an open conflict after Warsaw shot down what it says were Russian drones in Polish airspace. Russia has denied targeting Poland, while US President Donald Trump calls out the Kremlin for violating the NATO allies' territory as Moscow unleashed its latest attacks on Ukraine. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and the European Union have called the drone move a test of the alliance's resolve. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, traveling on the M2 West, we still have got heavy traffic volumes on the M2 West between the Geldenhuys Interchange and Silver Street. And if you are within the Westbury, Nuclear, as well as Sophia Town areas, please try to avoid Albertina Sisulu Road, heavily backed up, as well as closed off to traffic due to protests within that area. So please drive with care. While traveling on the M1 South, we've got roadworks taking place approaching Houghton Drive. Please be on the lookout. They are causing delays. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12, as well as the R24 West between Barber Road and the Gilulis Interchange. Out in the city of Tshwane, most routes are looking okay, but we've got roadworks taking place on the N1 South near the Proofcast Interchange. Do expect delays as you come out of Sefako Makhato exit. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Every day, South Africans are being squeezed to make ends meet. That's why they're Still Good, a new online platform where you can save up to 65% on groceries by buying Still Good value bags, packed with groceries by leading retailers that are still perfectly good, just close to their sell-by date. You win by saving, retailers win by cutting food waste, and communities win as Still Good donates 10% of their earnings to food charities. Visit stillgood.co.za. Start getting more bang for your buck with Still Good.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
Backed by popular demand, legendary jazz icon Kenny G will be performing at the Super Bowl at Sun City on Friday, the 3rd of October. Get ready for an unforgettable night of timeless hits and pure musical magic. Get your tickets from webtickets.co.za. Brought to you by Breakout Events and 702.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
24 minutes before 11 o'clock, we're hanging out with Letta Mbulu this morning on our Hanging Out feature. What do you listen to, Letta, when you are, I don't know, taking a walk, or you're cooking, or you're just chilling at home, or just doing whatever? Like, who are some of your favorite artists, whether it's local or international?
I listen to a lot of artists, jazz artists, people like Sarah Vaughan and stuff like that. Carmen McRae, Nancy Wilson. But locally, I listen to Bo Thandiswa Mazwai, you know, Zilibele Bang Uzalwa Ngobani, you know, that kind of song.
Zoe.
Zoe, oh man, yeah, she kicked my behind. Excuse the expression.
Yeah.
She really did.
Yeah.
She is good.
She's good.
Yeah, and she's gonna be here for a long time.
And she's inspired by people like you. You know, she talks a lot about. I follow her. I don't miss any of her shows.
Wow.
And I think she is incredible.
Yeah, she is. She's a star.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is a star.
So, what would you say is? I know, is it Nomthandazo? That's one of your favorite songs of hers. What do you think is, or do you just generally just love her music across the board?
I love the music. You know what? I love a lot of artists.
Yeah.
You know, I love Anita Baker. I love what's the name?
Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Let's start with, and we'll get to Anita Baker maybe and Gladys Knight. Let's start with Zoe Modiga. How about that? Eh?
Msebenzi wakho imbewu yajika umphefumulo wavuselelizwe lakho khulu. Umsebenzi wakho imbongi zonke zibabaza wena. Wabeletha wavuselelizwe lakho khulu. Umsebenzi wakho.
Hi, good morning to you, Clement and Letta Mbulu. Oh, thank you for bringing her in there, you know. Thank you very much. You know, she's singing nice songs like Angelina. I wish you can, you know, you can play Angelina for me. Oh, okay, this is Caiaphas speaking.
Nomaliza mntakwethu wathi kulikhonigo lelizwe. Nomaliza hayi kulikhonigo. Nomaliza mntakwethu wathi kuyobuya kulungi. Nomaliza kuyobuya kulungi.
Hi, Clement. On 702, it's Banele here in Nelspruit, Stonehenge. Oh, what a wonderful morning. Ne? I don't know much about Letta Mbulu, but I just love the voice because I wasn't born during those time, but I just love her voice, the richness of her voice. The voice is so nice, so it's just pure, man. Yeah, they're not yet Uhuru song, the Mhlaba Wakithi song rather. I just love the part whereby it says Qaphelani lumkani isinto esithi ilifa lesithutha lidliwa ngabahlakaniphileyo. Enkosi, bye.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I've got a question here from someone who says, Clement, please ask Letta how it came about that she did the opening part of Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl.
Boy, it's a long story. Yeah, long story. I mean, I was away, and Caiphas called me, and I came back to the States.
Yeah.
And Michael asked Caiphas to find out if I can do the song, you know. And I said, do you have the melody? They told me, yeah, the melody is there, but they need the words. And the words were in Swahili.
Mm-hmm. Right at the beginning of the song, eh?
And I didn't know Swahili. But I had a friend from Kenya who was in town. And I asked her to give me the words, interpret English into Swahili. And gave me the words that says, nakupenda pia, penziwe, That's all I said.
Yeah.
And I love you, my darling. I love you, my darling, penziwe. And I did that with Michael, and they loved it. And hey,
became one of the
yes, it did
biggest songs. In fact, for some of you that may not remember this.
Nakupenda pia, nakutaka pia, penzi we.
Liberian girl, you came and you changed my world. A love so brand new. Liberian girl, you came and you changed me, girl. A feeling so true. Liberian girl, you know that you came and you changed my world, just like in the movies. Two lovers in a scene, and she says, do you love me? And he says so honestly, I love you, Liberian girl.
Oh, what a massive song, eh? What a massive song. Kola on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, please can you ask Letta, does she think that our music industry is contributing to the society as much as it did before? Her songs are timeless, and I would like to personally thank her and her peers at the time for telling the stories on the ground. What are your thoughts on the music industry today? Because you focused a lot on social issues at the time.
Yeah, I did. Well, music changes, the genres change. They get into piano, they get into all kinds of things. But what I'm still missing is the message, that talks to the people, And there are artists, of course, that are really trying, to do that. But we still lack on that level. And I think that I don't know people who are scared to talk
about it.
But also I understand here at home that when you talk like that, you are ostracized. And you don't give you an opportunity to fly. So it's catch-22 for artists in this country.
Yeah. What do you think you still want to do? would you ever release another album? Would you? The last time I spoke to you guys in 2020, you were working on a dream. I think it was a 20-year dream of opening a music school. I don't know did you end up opening that?
No,
Still in the process.
We're still in the process. Okay. The building is finished,
right.
But we're waiting for government now, and we wait forever for those things. It's forever. But the school is almost done. Yeah. The only thing that is left now is the studio where kids are going to come in and learn how to actually.
It's amazing.
Yeah, record. Yeah, but it's very nice. It's a very, very nice place. Yeah,
that's great. I'm happy to hear that there's a lot of progress since the last time we spoke.
Yeah.
All right, 13 minutes now before 11.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
How worried are you about this being a deterrent to people seeking justice and coming to court?
Absolutely worried about that very, very much, because our whole constitutional democracy rests on three big pillars: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. If people are afraid to be approaching the judicial arm of the state in a constitutional democracy, that's a very, very, very big problem.
Deputy Minister Andries Nels.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Saving on your business insurance is a smart business move, an easy win. Switch to OUTsurance Business and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium for law firms, real estate agencies, computer services, and other industries. OUTsurance Business are trusted experts in business insurance. Get a quote today. It's easy. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
Spring into gardening at Chamberlain from 4 August to 12 October. Best Buy ceiling trays at R29.90 and Cultura compost at R24.90. Available at any of our 9 branches throughout Gauteng. Expert advice and friendly service guaranteed. You also stand a chance to win your share of R90,000 in gift vouchers every Saturday until 12th October. Chamberlain, famous for hardware and gardening since 1903.
That's the sound of your business growing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, turn your passion into profit with Capitec Business Banking. Save up to 50% on fees. Get fast credit approvals, personalized support, and Forex for your business. Open your business banking account on our app. Bank on better with Capitec, the business bank for everyone. Capitec is an authorized FSP. 46669. T's and C's apply.
This September, Joburg Theatre brings you a powerful mix of drama, music, and dance. Dancing the Death Drill, adapted from Fred Khumalo's acclaimed novel, tells the tale of Pito Mutaung, a South African soldier forever changed by the tragic sinking of the SS Mendi. The cast features Kwenzo Ngobo, Tuli Tabete, and Clint Brink, with choreography by Luyanda Sidia and original music by Msaki. This is a story of love, loss, and remembrance. Catch it from 9 to 28 September 2025 on the Mandela stage at Joburg Theatre. Dancing the Death Drill, a moment in history brought to life. Book now at joburgtheatre.com.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes before 11 o'clock. Let's go to the calls on 011-883-0702. Edmund, you are calling us from Soweto. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. Good day to you. I just want to quickly say hi to Mom Letta Mbulu.
Sure.
Oh, she's just such a blessing. Hi, Mama.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You are such a blessing to us. We grew up listening to your music in Thank Kaifa. So, Mom Letta, you are a blessing. Thank you so much, and I believe you will share the secrets. You have been together with Ntate for ages, eh?
That's a secret I cannot share. Because I really don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
But I thank you. I really thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edmund, in Soweto.
Dum dum dum, nigga naibona. Dum do 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 do, nigga naiboninga dama. Whoa, ibangu sizibo. Hi Clement. This is Koketso here in Krugersdorp. What a legend you have there in the studio. Umama Letta Mbulu. Most of her songs are being composed from the heart. She puts her soul on most of his songs. What a legend you have there. What a legend you have there, Clement. Shout out to Mama Mbulu. We love you so much, Mama. Thank you, Clement.
Oh, good morning, Clement. Oh, Mama Letta.
Hello.
Oh, Bana. I not yet Uhuru. Can you tell me how I don't know how relevant is that song of yours? Because ever since I listened to that song when I was still young, and I still believe it's still relevant today.
Yes.
Not yet Uhuru. Yes. And maybe you can play it for me, Clement. Thabo Mokheti.
We played it already.
Thank you.
We played it already.
Hi, Clement. Mweti here in Mbombela. I am very happy that you brought Mam Letta into the studio. We really appreciated her massive contribution to the arts and the showbiz, and for particularly making this country proud. Not so long ago, I had the opportunity to listen to the husband, Dr. Simenya, speaking on one of the radio stations. I was marveled and taken aback. What a glorious time we had in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't want us to wrap up before we play one of your favorite songs. So which one should we play between Gladys Knight and Anita? Okay, Anita, any day. Here's Sweet Love.
Stay with me, and you will see my arms will hold you, baby. Never leave, 'cause I believe I'm in love. Sweet love, help me calling out your name. I feel no shame, I'm in love. Sweet stay right here, never fear, I will be all that you need. Never leave, 'cause baby I believe in this love. Sweet love, hear me calling out your name. I feel no shame, I'm in love. Sweet
Anita Baker. See, you still move to that song, eh? What a beautiful song. Rosalind says, Clement, oh my word, you have royalty with you in studio. Letta is my favorite artist. What an amazing individual. Another one says, hey Clement, thanks for hosting Letta. I've met her once in Orlando West. What an amazing energy. Did you know that her grandkids are actually doing music?
Yeah.
So it runs in the family, hey?
I hope not.
Not everyone does that.
Yeah, they do. They
love
music, but the other one is doing what do you call it? Art.
Isn't the art? Is it film, acting, piano?
No. The art. What do you call it?
Kiddie, animation.
Animation. Haters animation.
Okay, and then another one says, Clement, thanks for hosting Letta. Really enjoyed her music over the years. And Matume says, Clement, Letta, please tell her that we love her. We love her music so much. And we love it because they stood to the ground and they fought the oppression during the dark days of apartheid through their artistry. And then another one says, Clement, I was a student at Roma University from 1978 to 1981. In one of those years, I attended her show at a festival in Maseru. She gave us her best performance into the night in freezing conditions at night, the best show ever. She's such a legend of our time. That's Charmaine in Midrand. And then the last one from Andrew says, I'm a Zimbabwean guy. I grew up there. And in Zimbabwe, I must tell you, we grew up to her music. Always thought she was Zimbabwean. That's how she was loved back there. My favorite of all time. We loved her a lot in Zimbabwe. Those are some of the comments coming through.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you to you, Letta, for coming through. I really appreciate it. And I know when you are at that age, you want to retire and be at home.
Yeah, right.
Now we're dragging you in studio. So thank you so much for coming in, but also thank you for the amazing music you've given us over the years.
Oh, I thank you so much. But I actually thank the people out there who really supported me. Without them, I would not have done what I did.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We give you your flowers while you're still here with us.
Thanks.
It's a minute before 11.
It's that time of the year. Sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, blocked noses and coughs. It's time to live, work, play and sleep allergy-free. For trusted relief for you and your family this allergy season, ask your pharmacist for the Adcock Ingram OTC Allergy Survival Pack. With products like Allergex Non-Drowsy, Cetisid, Levogex and more, we have you covered. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC. And visit beprepared365.co.za.
Do you know what's hiding behind colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org by 30 September.
Year in, year out, we're fixing tires faster than a Formula One pit crew. My team is on top of things like tire whisperers. If an unforeseen accident were to happen in my workshop, at least I've got My Way business insurance to keep the wheels turning.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. We start with news just in. 5 children have died in a crash in KwaZulu-Natal this morning. It's understood that the driver of a taxi they were travelling in lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a creche this morning in Pietermaritzburg. Other children who suffered severe injuries have been sent to hospital. Transport Department spokesperson Dabezinhle Sibiya.
MEC Sponsor Duma has assigned a team from his office and the Department of Transport
to visit the scene of the accident and interact with the families of the affected children.
Taxi violence has claimed 2 more lives in the Western Cape. The men were killed in separate shootings within the space of about 10 minutes last night in Nyanga. As Lauren Isaacs reports, a third person was wounded.
In the first incident at about 8:10 at the Nyanga taxi rank, a 61-year-old man was killed. 10 minutes later, gunshots rang out in Brown's Farm and a 42-year-old man was killed and another wounded. Following both murders, the gunmen fled the scene and are yet to be arrested. Last week, a taxi owner who was also a police officer was killed in Nhlanhla near Strand. 5 people were murdered during a surge in taxi-related violence last month. 9 others, including commuters, sustained injuries in attacks at taxi ranks in Philippi East, Khayelitsha and Macassar. Lauren Isaacs, Eyewitness News.
The Constitutional Court has ruled that husbands can now take their wives' surnames. This ruling examined parts of the Births and Deaths Registration Act and its regulations, which had previously prevented husbands from assuming their wives' last names. 2 couples approached the apex courts, arguing that the prohibition served no government purpose. Henry van der Merwe and Andreas Bormann were unable to assume their wives' surnames were not at the time able to assume their wives' surnames because of the legislation. And this morning, the Constitutional Court declared parts of the acts invalid, saying that the law discriminates on the basis of gender. City of Tshwane Deputy Mayor Eugene Modise has assured investors that the metro will take a no-nonsense approach to corruption following pledges for funds and resources into infrastructure projects. Investors pledged 16 billion rand towards 22 projects in several sectors, including property, construction and automotive at yesterday's Tshwane Investment Summit. Some of the projects will be rolled out in phases, with investments at the Roslyn Automotive Precinct and the Marabastad Precinct among the first on the list. Modise says strict protocols are in place to avoid the flouting of procurement processes.
And all your applications are not taken from pillar to post. We are going to ensure that everything that you seek, you get. There's no need to be afraid that you'll be labeled as corrupt when you do things correctly.
And Poland has warned that Russia and Europe are inching towards an open conflict after Warsaw shot down what it says were Russian drones in Polish airspace. Russia has denied targeting Poland, while US President Donald Trump calls out the Kremlin for violating the NATO allies' territory as Moscow unleashed its latest attack on Ukraine. Ukraine's president and the European Union called the drone move a test of the alliance's resolve. Footage posted by local media shows the army at a village in eastern Poland inspecting a house with its roof ripped open and debris littered nearby. Authorities said nobody was harmed after Poland's airspace was violated 19 times. Prime Minister Donald Tusk says that at least 3 drones were shot down after Warsaw and its allies scrambled jets. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the violation of Polish airspace is an unprecedented attack.
I've been in touch with the Polish Prime Minister this morning to make clear our support for Poland. We will stand firm in our support for Ukraine. With our partners and through our leadership of the coalition willing, we will continue to ramp up the pressure on Putin until there's a just and lasting peace.
Gold is trading at $3,631.45 an ounce. The rand is at 17.49 to the dollar, 23.65 to the pound, 20.45 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.36 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Barbara Road and the Kilulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the M2 West between the Geldenes interchange and Silver Street.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: 5 children have died in a crash in KwaZulu-Natal this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's Walk the Talk, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app,
DSTV channel 856,
92.7 and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 11 o'clock. Dumelang, Sanbonani, Bonjour. Welcome to the third and final hour of the Clement Manyathela Show. Thank you for staying with us here on 702. Time for the Thursday Dialogue.
The Dialogue with Clement Manyathela.
It's not just another roundtable discussion.
Let's Walk the Talk on 702.
So, as I said earlier today, we're going to have two different topics on the Thursday Dialogue. At 11:30, after the latest in Eyewitness News headlines, we're going to have a conversation, and I want to hear your thoughts on this Constitutional Court ruling that husbands can now take their wives' surnames. And I'll give you context on why we got to this point where the Constitutional Court had to rule in this way. But I also want us to just look at the other points that were made on the 702 open line this morning as soon as the story broke, by some people who believe that this is un-African and it goes against culture. I want us to debate that a little bit just after the news at 11:30. But right now, on our Thursday Dialogue, we start a conversation about the Political Killings Task Team. How successful has the Political Killings Task Team been in its mandate since its establishment, right? What work has the task team been able to do? We've seen some key arrests in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal emanating from the work of the task team, but there are complaints that have also been sent to the Minister of Police and Parliament around the work of this unit. Some argued that it was a law unto itself and that it mismanaged some funds. And I wonder actually how much resources such task teams receive. And I wonder if there is a way for them to account for funds that they get allocated. But remember, the Political Killings Task Team was established in 2019 following the 2016 Moerane Commission's investigation into the root causes of political killings in KwaZulu-Natal. And what the commission did was make comprehensive recommendations to address political violence, which then led to the formation of the task team with a mandate to investigate and resolve unresolved politically motivated murders, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, the KZN Police Commissioner believes that this task team has actually investigated political killings very well, and it's uncovered some really serious corruption in the SAPS and criminal justice system, and that's why the police minister instructed that it be disbanded. So that's the belief out there. So while some operational successes are clear, there are questions that remain about transparency, about political interference, and whether investigations have led to lasting convictions. So we've invited Brigadier Nhlanhla Mati, who is the National Police spokesperson. We've invited Mary de Haas as well, who is the KZN Violence Monitor, one of those who have raised concerns about this Political Killings Task Team. Brigadier Mati, I'll start with you. Good morning. Thank you for making time for us.
A very good morning to you and to the listeners.
So let's look at the work of this task team since it was established. What are you able to share with us? Have we seen successes?
Okay. So you will recall that the task team was established in 2018, and it was established by the president after noticing an escalation in politically related murders. So since then, I think we're now standing at 401 arrests. and about 55 firearms that were used in the commission of these crimes. So of the cases, of the 401 arrests, 122 are still in custody for political killings. We also have 12 that are still in custody that are involved in traditional leadership killings as well. And when you look at the Forte cases where the bodyguard of the Vice Chancellor was killed, we still have about 7 still in custody, and we are sitting at more than 130 accused that have been convicted to time in prison.
Okay, let me go to Mary de Haas now to hear how she responds to that. Mary, thank you so much for also making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, let's just get this quite clear. The president, it was an executive decision to establish an interministerial team, so that is why the minister had the power to disband it. It was not within the power of the police. You see, you have to understand, task teams, I've worked with them since the 90s, are set up for short periods for specific purposes. This one was different. It was set up at the executive level by the government, and that is now how many years ago? 7 years ago. Okay, well, I'll come to the statistics. But the problem is, from the very beginning, that team was basically managed by the Minister of Police, which was completely illegal in terms of the Constitution. A minister is not. But everyone will tell you that he's the one who gave instructions. Okay. And the first thing they did, we had a very good provincial team here. They're the ones that got the convictions in Gleeblands Hostel. Life sentences, they're still doing it. Okay. The task team comes in, takes the dockets. It withdraws cases against politicians, key politicians, in 3 cases. One is the Sindisa Magaka case, in which a key provincial person and 2 municipal people were charged. They withdrew charges against them. And senior ANC guy mysteriously died. They withdrew charges against another senior ANC person, a doctor in Newcastle, and the witness and someone with him died. Then they withdrew charges these were all on track. People had been arrested. Let's just take the Magaka case now. They're now having, the problem is not just the police in this, it's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is fabricating, I've got statements, affidavits, prosecutors fabricating evidence to convict the wrong people. Because they're covering every single case I've looked at. They could have taken look, I gave the database to the Morani Commission. There were dozens and dozens of cases. I can tell you, and you can't evaluate these statistics that are being thrown out because there is no breakdown. And police make arrests all the time and those charges are eventually withdrawn. So I don't buy into it. I can show you that they have been involved in, and they've disobeyed the minister by carrying on this year.
Sure.
People don't seem to understand this.
Okay, so, but Nhlanhla Mati just told us 401 arrests was as a result of the task team. 122 people are still in custody.
Yeah, I know they are. And some of them, there's little virtue. I mean, the ones I know, let me give you an example. And this is quite an interesting example. This man was a senior, he was actually an MK guy, senior road traffic inspector down the South Coast. He went to the police with information about who killed an uncorruptible speaker, ANC speaker. His information coincides with what I know about the killing. It was some years back now. Now, that task team has never followed that up, but they arrest him on trumped-up charges. Somebody tries to kill him with poison in prison. He's obviously public enemy number 1 because he knows that the killing of the local speaker was orchestrated by a man who's a wealthy tenderpreneur with political connections. It's never been investigated, that case. Right. Okay. So he goes to prison on fairly minor charges. When I say fairly minor, compared with murder or attempted murder, like fraud or having his deceased brother's gun. And I mean, this man's got licenses for every gun you need. Okay, he's 5.5 years denied bail for these charges. In May, he goes to court. Charges are withdrawn under section 174. No evidence whatsoever. And this is what they're doing. So it's very easy to say, oh, we've detained this one, we've detained. Two Umkomaas policemen who arrested 3 hitmen on their way with AK-47s were arrested to cover up for the hitmen who have been let out. What sort of work is that by a task team?
Okay, let's bring in Brigadier Mati here. Brigadier Mati, are you aware of some of these concerns, or even the police commissioner aware of some of these concerns that have been raised about the political task team abusing its power, being a law unto itself, and of course claims that they have also mismanaged some funds?
Okay, firstly, let me indicate that what is being highlighted is not true. When we talk about, if you can refer to the case of Mr. Cindy Somagaka, charges were withdrawn there. We had investigated. Charges were withdrawn after the hitman then lied under oath. He then said he was alone in this and he didn't implicate the then mayor and the then municipal manager. And when the case was in court, it was then withdrawn before court. So our team then focused to gather more evidence to convict this particular hitman. He was convicted for 25 years imprisonment, and after only his eviction, that's when he came out clean with the truth to say, actually, from the beginning, these are the people behind the Cindy Somagaka's hit. It was the former mayor. You will recall that the former mayor committed suicide, and what we have uncovered is that he committed suicide because of the pressure that was being exerted on him by the hitman, because the hitman was threatening him that he will spill the beans if he doesn't continue to take care of his family members and continue to pay him while he is in jail and so on. But after he was convicted to 25 years in prison, that's when he then revealed everything to say, I was with the former municipal manager on this, and hence then after the conviction, the former municipal manager was then arrested by the same task team. The former mayor, as I've indicated, committed suicide because of the pressure. He couldn't handle the threats anymore. So those are some of the things that I can reveal to you. And the team is working hard. We have I've also highlighted the successes of the team, and there are still investigations that are still ongoing. And we have previously submitted reports on allegations that Ms. Merida has made, and there was no proof to any of the allegations he was made. To say the former minister is the one that appointed the team and so on, are we saying there was no evidence that suggested that we needed such a team in place? When you look at the escalation of political killings in KZN and other provinces, and when you look at the convictions in the Cindy Somagaka case, you look at the convictions in the engineer who was attached to the Alfred Inzo case, you look at the murder of ANC candidate Councillor Siyabonga Mkhize and his friend Mzukisi Nyanga while campaigning for the 2021 local government elections. When you look at the people that have been sentenced there, it will give you much appreciation for this team and that there is a need for this team to stay on. I know she is talking about funds and so on, but with such a team in place, obviously, you can't expect a team to stay in a hotel that you and I, Clement, would stay in because of the level of risk. You can't expect the task team to use ordinary vehicles because of the level of threat that there is. So you will expect such a team, obviously, to use more funds for other things that may come up during investigations and so on.
But is there a way to account for some funds? Because that could also be abused, right? If you're saying, okay, I mean, they need to stay and use money whichever way they see fit, just so that they make sure that they're safe, that could also be abused.
everything is accounted for. We've got a CFO, and I think for a number of years we have attained. I think it was a clean audit report. I'll just verify, or a qualified report. So we are in the green in terms of that. So there's no such unit that doesn't account. Every unit is accounted for, and every funds that are made available to task teams or whether units are accounted for.
All right. Let me bring in Willem Elsio, who's a senior trading coordinator with the Institute for Security Studies. Willem, what are your thoughts on the effectiveness or lack thereof of this political killings task team based on what you've had and what you've observed as well over the years?
Good morning to our panelists. And I want to appreciate the contributions by the two panelists, because it's very important that we have a vibrant debate on this situation. I think if you look at the vibrantness and also the effectiveness of this team, we first have to go back to where it's coming from and the challenges that originated when it was established. So rightly so, they mentioned where it came from and why it was set up. But the name of the task team already raises a red flag, because what are they investigating? They are investigating political killings, and for a police officer that's operational, they serve the government of the day. I mean, I spent 28 years in the police. I served under several governments, and that is what you need to do. You need to be removed from the political sphere, and you need to focus on operational matters and enforce the legislation and enforce the rule of law. So that is your challenge that you are faced with here, where this team was actually pushed into a gray area that was always going to be problematic. And I mean, in the old days, pre-94, you also had your units and your sections that worked on that, and that was also problematic. So we should have learned from there. But what we also saw here is, and I think Mary rightly so mentioned that the Constitution came into play here, because if you look at Section 206 and Section 207 of our Constitution, it clearly defines the roles of the minister, but also that of the National Commissioner. And the question that begs to answer here is, and I believe that will also be scrutinized, and hopefully we'll get some clarity with the upcoming Commission of Inquiry, but also the ad hoc committee, is that, did the minister overstep his powers there? Was he not supposed to leave it to the National Commissioner and, of course, then the Provincial Commissioner and the detectives to be able to do their work, what they are being paid for, what they have been trained for, and to be unbiased in order to investigate these killings, even though they are political in nature? So the successes of this team was there. We saw that in most of the areas that they operated, there was a steep decline since it was established on some of the killings. We saw the arrests that they mentioned, but also, for example, they also secured some strong sentences, where amongst them 18 plus life sentences that were accumulated with them. But the other thing that we also need to see, one of the challenges that I think with them is, we see that we arrested a lot of your Izinkabis, your operators, your people on the ground, your low-level syndicate members. But we didn't see a lot of the kingpins, the people that actually ordered the killings, the people that were behind this. They managed to not be on the roll. And that begs the question that also we hope will be aired now with the two commissions that are ongoing. Is why? Was there political interference in shielding those people? Was there protection? Was there undue interference? And that is, I think, one of the major challenges. If you look at the of course, the money and the oversight and everything, with every police unit, especially a contention one like this, you're going to have some discrepancies because of the nature of the humans, and because of also important, you have to have your civilian oversight, and you have to have your civil society to scrutinize it, etc. etc. But the challenge of the fact of the matter is, we do have certain instruments. We've got civilian oversight, but also we have some instruments in the form of IPID, where you can lay your complaints, and then they have to be strengthened in order to investigate. So I think there was a checks and balances in place, but the challenge was, was there interference?
Yeah. Mary de Gaas, let me give you an opportunity to come in here. Especially,
I need to,
go
because
ahead.
please can I just set the record straight? If there's one case I know everything about, it's the Magaka case. And that is when the persecution of Thabiso Zulu started, when he opened his mouth about who killed him. And he's been in hiding more or less. He's been targeted. He's had his phone seized. The task team seized phones without any orders. They tube people. They torture people all the time, emotionally and with plastic bags. Right, I've got all this empirical stuff, but I just want to focus. And I can tell you a lot of them aren't even detectives. And I mean, they're taking dockets that aren't political. They've taken a whole lot of municipal corruption dockets in Nongoma, investigated by a sergeant from the stock theft unit. That's the mandate of the DPCI. They take these, and prosecutors will tell us. Now, let me just give you this example about the Magaka case. No, the hitman wanted to confess when he was arrested. A very good prosecutor in Pietermaritzburg agreed that he would confess. The docket was taken from the good prosecutor, given to a refugee from Gauteng who was threatened with criminal action himself, who's dealing with all the task team stuff, and a serious complaint, serious about him. He refused the hitman the right to confess. Hitman's been dying to do it for years. A few of us, and I'm telling you this because I know the whole story, the hitman has been letting it known to everybody he wanted to confess all along. Okay, a few of us managed to raise money for Mrs. Magaka, who's been sitting in court for 7 years and still no end in sight, for the hitman to confess. An advocate and a lawyer helped him to confess. I have the confession, the whole confession. It goes into the fact that he wanted to confess. He names the previous prosecutor who was going to help him to confess. He names the fact that he was denied the right to confess. Okay, it was long before he was convicted, because the new attorneys, the new lawyers managed to get the trials separated. He was convicted, and it's all on record in his confession. And we know it from independent sources, not just from him. So I'm afraid the Brigadier has been badly misinformed about this. And also the fact that arrests mean nothing. Police do it all the time. And their cases are withdrawn. They've done it over and over again with the task team. I know. I've got it detailed. I've got empirical stuff.
Yeah, you said something earlier, Mary, about the task team not respecting the directive coming from the minister for this task team to be disbanded. Why must the minister be the one that takes such an operational decision? And if as you argue that the minister is the one who had authority because this was a ministerial commissioned task team, then he is the one that's got control and he can take a decision that it be disbanded. Why then did he send the instruction to the National Police Commissioner, which was then carried out by the Deputy National Police Commissioner, if really he's got that authority?
Because he works through the national minister. You see, people have become unused to this because of politicians telling them what to do. And that nowhere worse than in the police in the last few years. And you'll remember that the last minister had been dismissed as commissioner in disgrace. He's got criminal cases against him, serious fraud criminal cases. Now, the job of ministers is policy. It's to monitor, it's to give instructions to the National Commissioner. And that's exactly what the minister did. It was a ministerial team, not a team. And I've still got organograms from the 90s of the way that task team works. They're set up, for example, the Richmond violence. A task team is set up for a specific purpose. And it's usually a month, at the most several months or a year or two, depending on cases. This is not a task team. And a lot of these people aren't even detectives. And you must remember, you see, when the task team started, like one of those recent convictions goes back to when the team was headed by a senior detective. The detective left and clearly put Khumalo there. Right, now Khumalo is not a detective. Neither is Masemola, neither is Mkhwanazi. They are all operational response people. They haven't got a clue about detective work.
Okay, let me get Brigadier Mati to respond to that. Yeah, Brigadier Mati?
Well, we still stand firm and we still stand by the work that has been done by this team. When you look at the successes that have been attained, 40 hit orderers have been arrested so far. This includes your councillors, your tenderpreneurs and senior municipal officials, 72 hitmen coordinators, 178 hitmen. And those are just some of the arrests that have been made by this task team. I don't think Mr. Haas has intricate details of what is happening because she is an outsider and she does not have, she wouldn't have information on the day-to-day runnings and intricate details of each case. So I think she's relying on hearsay. But I think the team has proved itself. You look at cases like the DJ Sambudi case that only got a breakthrough with the involvement of the task team, the Aman Swart case. And we, like I highlighted last week when we were having a conversation, Clement, that initially the firearms were being linked to 10 cases, and now the number of cases has grown to 30, and that is the work of the task team. So they handle quite complex cases that involve obviously political killings, but also in 2024 the president then extended the mandate of the task team to also include cases that include traditional leaders that have been killed and so on. So the team doesn't only concentrate on your political killings, political killings. It's expanded its mandate.
Yeah.
It's extended its mandate to other cases where detectives struggle to secure breakthroughs and so on. And they have proved themselves time and again that they are capable, they've got the expertise and so on.
And of course, General Mkhwanazi has claimed that because they've started even assisting, for instance, the SAPS in Gauteng, and as a result, there have been arrests because of their assistance. That's when the political interference then started, and you've got people like the minister then deciding that this thing has got to stop. All right, Brigadier Mati, Mary de Haas, and Willem Els, thanks to all of you for making time for us. Let's get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. Mbali, hi.
Thanks, Clement. Good morning. We begin in KZN, where a team from the Transport Department has been deployed to the scene of a crash in Imbali Township in Pietermaritzburg, where 5 children have died. The children were killed when the taxi they were traveling in crashed into a daycare center this morning. It's understood that the driver of the taxi lost control of the vehicle on a bend. The Constitutional Court has ruled that husbands can now take their wives' surnames. The ruling examined parts of the Births and Deaths Registration Act and its regulations, which had previously prevented husbands from assuming their wives' last names. 2 couples approached the Apex Court, arguing that the prohibition served no government purpose. And there is a heavy police presence in Westbury, Johannesburg, where protests over water shortages continued today. Residents have again blocked roads with rocks and burning tires, calling for a lasting solution to the water crisis. The area and surrounds have been contending with intermittent supply for weeks now. Parents have also now raised concern that the ongoing water issues are affecting teaching and learning at schools. Those are the headlines this EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
While travelling in Devland, we've got delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. That's due to the long-term roadworks taking place along this route, as well as faulty traffic lights. Please be on the lookout there. While travelling in the Crown City, Mayfair and Amalgam areas, heavy traffic volumes along several routes, including Main Reef Road, the M2 West, as well as Crownwood Road. If you're travelling towards Bedford View, do expect delays on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Kilulis interchange. There's also a slight backup reported on the N1 North just as you come out of the Baklu interchange. I'm Amo Ramela, otherwise Karabujali will have your next update from the top of the hour onwards. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
We all think this is just a small problem. Nobody tells us how serious is this.
Nancy Shao, the daughter of a Chinese national who was sentenced for human trafficking. Shao also claimed that a powerful kingpin with links to firearms was still operating freely in Johannesburg. We're in real trouble, folks. There must be a resistance against continuing lawlessness. I don't trust state institutions anymore to help us with that, because I think that they themselves are captured by their own greed.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
This weekend, fun is in full bloom at the Spring Playground at Melrose Arch from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Kids can enjoy the Spring Playground on the Piazza in collaboration with Clumber Club, from obstacle courses, a jumping castle, and a giant board games to face painting and trampoline bungee for children over 5. Tickets can be booked on the Piazza, and for the adults, there's going to be toe tapping live entertainment on the square from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So book a table and soak up the sunshine.
Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is hopeful. But
love can make you do unbelievable things.
Is love shocking?
What kind of love is this?
Is love blind?
If love was blind was a person, it would be Dr. Nhlanhla.
Is love worth it?
Her light was not there anymore.
Would you cross the line for love? Watch Beauty and the Beaster, 12 September, only on Netflix. Basic plan from 99 Rand per month. T's and C's apply.
Hey besties, welcome to my kitchen tour, or should I say my new walk-in wardrobe. Over here we have the pantry, now home to my jeans and shirts, all color-coded. Oh, and the air fryer, literally the perfect place for my makeup brushes. And who would have thought, the oven is the place to store my handbags.
Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
Life is full of moments. Some are small.
Surprise, I got you a matcha latte.
Some are big.
Surprise, we're having twins.
For all those moments, there's the new Haval H6 SUV with a spacious interior and voice command. It's built for big moments. Get it from only 6,699 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
So much changing in the business around higher education at the moment. Lots of actors in the space, and Dr. Stan du Plessis is the CEO at Stadio Holdings.
Even the biggest problem we have is one of efficient scale. We have an enormous amount of resources in higher education in South Africa. We spend collectively as a society a large proportion of GDP on higher education. We have far too little to show for it.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, equipping you with efficient and secure cash management solutions for your business. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
The Dialogue with Clement Manyathela.
It's not just another roundtable discussion.
Let's walk the talk on 702.
22 minutes before 12 o'clock. The second topic we're discussing on our Thursday dialogue this morning is around the Constitutional Court ruling. Broke this morning, the Constitutional Court ruling that husbands can now take their wives' surnames. We started this chat on the 702 open line as soon as the Constitutional Court released that judgment around 9:30, and I thought we should continue this chat. Chief Makanya called us earlier and said, well, that's an African, it's not cultural. You can't pick and choose which parts of culture you appreciate and you agree with. And I wonder what your thoughts are. So what do you make of this Constitutional Court ruling that husbands can now take their wives' surnames? Give us a call on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. And as a quick reminder, so remember, there is a couple that actually took this matter to court. And the applicants in the case, I think the first couple was Jana Jordan and Henry van der Merwe. And they wanted to take Jana Jordan's surname. And this was going to be as a way to honor her parents who died when she was young because she's also the only child. But when they attempted to do so after their marriage was solemnized, they were informed that the Home Affairs systems do not allow for that. And as a result of the system failures and Home Affairs staff not being able to help, Jordan then kept her own surname, and the couple's children then carried the surname of van der Merwe. And there was another case as well of Jess and Andrea, and they ended up going with a double barrel surname. But then the husband was not able to take the double barrel surname because Home Affairs systems did not allow for that. So that's why we are where we are now, with the Constitutional Court ruling now saying, husbands, you can take your wives' surnames. What do you think? Give us a call or send us a WhatsApp voice note. I do have someone on the line, though, Dr. Alexandra Abedian Rohani, who has taken the surname of his wife. In fact, he's got a double barrel surname, and one of that is that of his wife, who's going to share his experience with us. Thank you so much for making time for us. Doc, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Clement. How are you?
Sure. What informed the decision between the two of you for you to have this double barrel surname and take your wife's surname as well?
I think it was quite simple. We are both members of the Baha'i faith. We believe in the Baha'i teachings. And one of the biggest teachings in that faith is the equality of men and women, especially with regards to rights and opportunities. And it's always been something very important for us. And pre-marriage, we had always spoken about gender roles and norms and societal stereotypes. And so it's very important for us to figure out, okay, how we could use this union of marriage, which is such a powerful thing, to also start breaking social norms and creating a bit of question and progress towards the reality that men and women have always been equal. And so this was one way to go about it. So obviously we learned the hard way when we were signing the marriage certificate. We knew we wanted to double barrel, and I was not allowed to. And I was like, why am I not allowed to? And it's like, no, that's not how the system works. And I said, what do you mean? Again, we went through that. And progress going forward, I had a few trips to Home Affairs. My first trip to go and try to assume her surname as part of our new one. They told me, no, you can't do this. And by the way, men shouldn't or don't do that, which I thought was quite entertaining. I went back again and I said, look, the reality is I need to do this. So what forms do I need? And so I got about, I think, 12 forms, including getting birth certificates of my parents, my mother who had passed away already many years ago, so I had to get a death certificate. I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. Went through that process, submitted everything. They lost the forms, obviously, so we had to do follow-up emails and this and that. And I think I got my April 2024 last year, is when I got the official surname change that I put on my ID and my passport.
Wow.
A small win, but then everyone this morning was sending me clips of this Constitutional Court ruling.
Yeah.
And I thought it's so interesting because it is something that many people want to do. It is something, a way for parents, future parents, to show their children that mom and dad are both important. And it's a way for society to realize that women, it's a small way. I don't even want to say this is a big way, but women have a lot more value than assuming a surname of them. But for society to understand that, how crazy is it that men don't have the choice because the women's is not valued as much? That's crazy. So these are little steps forward that I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, well, look, that's incredible, and thank you for sharing your story with us. That's Dr. Alexandra Abedian Rohani, who took his wife's surname. I want to bring in now Professor Nozukola Mtende, who is, Dr. Mtende is a professor of African traditional religion. We've heard her before on the show, and I want to get her thoughts as well, as someone who really deeply understands the fundamentals of culture. So thank you so much for making time for us, Dr. Mtende. Good morning.
Good morning, and morning to the viewers.
What are?
Thank you for inviting me.
from a cultural perspective, what are your thoughts on this judgment from the Constitutional Court?
Okay, my name is Nokuzola, meaning my parents wanted me to bring peace. To Zola is to have peace. Nokuzola. And NO shows that I'm a woman, the mother of peace. So I'm the mother of peace. So I like that. Coming to this judgment, I must be honest. I'm talking from my cultural perspective, not from others. It's something that is very, very foreign to us. It does not speak to us. It speaks to other people, and it also favors the wealthier than thou, because people like myself, I can't go to High Court just for that. I'll just say, okay, it's fine, let it go like that. So when we talk of equality, there's no equality here at all.
Okay. So
there are so many things that we would love to change. Now, let me come to the question of surname.
Yeah.
We must first understand that even the use of the surname is something that was imposed by colonialism. My identity is not in my surname. My identity is in my clan name. So that is another problem. We have got people who are having English surnames and they are Xhosas. So what identity is that? And you'll find that those people are not even related to others. So a surname, when the judge was saying women are being forced to use the husband's name as if there's inequality. Again, those were the results of colonialism, because in our culture, you are named by your clan name. That's your identity, your clan name, not the surname. And secondly, when we talk about surnames, what is involved, what is important there, as I said earlier, is the clan name. Now, the clan name, there are rituals that are being performed by people of the same clan names. And even my children, they are having the blood from my husband's family and from my own family. So those two, I can't allow my children to be called Mndende because I'm a Dlamini. They must also show their father's side. Now coming to this, Mtanam, this question of you wanting to use your wife's surname. To me, I hope in a studio, we have got Mkhosa there. That is despised. That is a disgrace. That means you are a weak man. Because you bow down, you want everything from your wife and so on. That is not allowed. And again, this will show negative things, negative responses from the child, because that child, we must perform rituals from the child. It has got nothing to do with your surname as the father. So to me, these laws that are made in parliament, they favor certain races, they favor patriarchy.
Yeah.
They are not for the development of women.
So what about the reason?
There is a lot of gender-based violence.
Yeah. What about the reason here? Because the couple that went to court said they just want to honor. This woman says even the husband agrees. He's not forced. They're saying we want to honor the wife's parents because they died when this woman was still young and she was the only child. Both of them are consenting and they're saying, let's actually take your surname in honor of them.
No, it's good that use the surname of her parents. And it has got nothing to do with the man. He has got his own parents that he must honor. Why like this? So that is why there are elements of what I cannot say because it's another race. But if it was in my race, I would be having many question marks.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Mndende, thank you so much for making time for us. She is the professor of African traditional religion. I thought, let's get her thoughts. And then let's also hear from you. 011-883-0702. Send us a WhatsApp as well. It's 10 minutes before 12.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
On the 20th and 21st of September, the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, brings you the flavor, the music, and the vibe with international stars, South Africa's top performers, delicious food from local artisans, and fashion that turns heads. It's the ultimate heritage weekend experience. Gather your friends on Saturday and make it a family picnic day on Sunday. Join interactive cooking demos, explore vibrant art, and celebrate 30 years of DSTV bringing entertainment to Africa. One ticket gives you access to it all. Visit ticketmaster.co.za with more on deliciousfestival.com.
The BCCSA is calling for nominations. Do you know someone with broadcasting expertise? Nominate them to serve as a commissioner for a 4-year term starting 1 January 2026. Send a short CV and motivation to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. Nominations close 19 September 2025. Visit www.bccsa.co.za for more info.
Whenever you hear deep in the heart and art of jazz, think Sia Makuzeni with the big band, Jasmine Horn, Alun Wad, The Baylor Project, Jose James sings Badu, Umu Sangare, Esperanza Spalding, Michelle Dujiocello, Elaine, Tezo, Munei, Mondli Ngobo, and many other spectacular icons. Think Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, 4 stages at the Sandton Convention Center, 26th, 27th and 28th September, and take me there. Book via Ticketmaster.
The Dialogue with Clement Manyathela.
It's not just another roundtable discussion.
Let's walk the talk on 702.
8 minutes before 12 o'clock, straight to your calls. Please be quick and sharp so I can take as many calls and voice notes as possible. Willie, you calling from Florida. What are your thoughts?
Hi, Clement, you're quite an interesting guy. Listen, I'm going to be very short. You know, the reason why the system, the surnames always goes with the name, you know, it's a biblical perspective. It comes from the Bible. You know, even if you read the scriptures, you'll hear that God made a covenant with Abram and his seed after him, you know, and so on and so on. Even if you read Genesis 3:15, you'll hear that. The scriptures talks about the seed of the woman, you see. Now, a woman hasn't got a seed, but the Bible talks about a seed of the woman, you see. So the seed of the woman, it means Mary gave birth to Jesus, to the Lord Jesus Christ. And she hadn't slept with a man. She didn't sleep with Joseph to get the Lord Jesus Christ. That is why it's called, because it is not from. Now, the reason why the surname goes to the man, always, it remains with the man, because the man has got the seed. You know, the woman may produce the egg and that type of thing, but the seed, that is why God spoke to Abraham and he said, I'll make this covenant with you today, and your seed after you. You know, that type of a thing. And all around that is the theme of the covenant throughout the scriptures. Well, I'm speaking from a biblical point of view.
Got it. Willie in Florida, thank you. Masungulo in Protea Glen, what do you think? Sure.
All right, man, I'll keep it very short. Listen, I feel that it's not acceptable for a man to take his wife's surname because of cultural reasons. Your surname comes with a certain lineage that your father and your father before him have had. And passing it down brings also a sense of pride to yourself and your family to say that we kulisa umndeni kababa. So I just feel like there's certain things we shouldn't change within our cultures. As much as culture is evolving, there's certain things that we should not even just mess with.
Yeah, no, great. I hear you. And also to remind everybody, of course, this is not... Couples are not forced to do this, right? It's a choice. So if you think you want to take your wife's surname, that's a decision that you can make yourself.
Clemza, change your surname as a man if you want to. Do not include us, please,
don't include us. Let's stop encouraging nonsense sometimes. Whether you are Mandela, you are Zuma, you are Bill Gates, you are Donald Trump, I am not changing my last name for any woman. Not a chance. If she wants to keep hers, she can keep it. It's just a last name, but I'm not changing mine.
Morning, Clement. Nice show as usual. Casey from the south. Commenting on the, husband or guys assuming their partner surnames. Well, good for those guys who wants to assume their wife's surname. But I'm just curious in terms of African tradition. As a guy, you would pay lobola for your lady, and then what? And then you assume her surname. So if you as a guy can assume the lady's surname, does it mean a lady can pay lobola for you? Because I feel like it's kind of linked. Why would you pay lobola for somebody and then assume their surname? That's my take on that. Thanks, man. Cheers.
But paying for lobola is more than just the surname. It's more than that. Zakhele in Soweto, what do you think? Hi.
Yes,
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Yes. Now listen, this shouldn't be a conundrum. We as Africans, we have adopted wrong religion.
Yeah.
We Africans, we used to use surnames from irrespective of gender. I can make you an example with Queen Makeda, the first queen, the first woman king. Most of Ethiopians, they are using her surname even today. And hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
Yes, even today, most of us Africans, we are using the surnames from our mothers. You understand? If you can reciprocate historically, you see, it is not a big issue if you're using the surname of your wife.
Okay, Zakhele in Soweto. Thanks for your thoughts.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Championship Boerewors, thick or thin for just R109.99 per kilo. Steakhouse Classic Man-Size Club Steak for only R140 per kilo. And Tate's Potato Chips 125 grams. Buy any two for R32. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers.
This is Jade. She'll spend hours comparing almond milk and once made a spreadsheet just for sneakers. But when she found Santam, SA's leading short-term insurer that offers a range of cover options, from vehicle to building and home contents, even she didn't overthink it. The kind of freedom Santam gives you takes some getting used to. Speak to your broker. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and controlling company for its group companies.
Hey besties, welcome to my kitchen tour, or should I say, my new walk-in wardrobe. Over here, we have the pantry, now home to my jeans and shirts, all color-coded. Oh, and the air fryer, literally the perfect place for my makeup brushes. And who would have thought, the oven is the place to store my handbags.
Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia.
Bird partner. T's and C's apply. Mac at iStore. Run smooth as business should.
Coming up
on the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
Mandy, how you doing?
Good, thanks. And you, Clem?
What's popping today?
So we're going to start with court stories today. Two big matters that we're watching. The fight over this Thabo Bester Netflix documentary that's taking place in court today. The Constitutional Court, as you would have heard on the Clement Manyathela Show.
A meltdown from lots of men.
I
will never
heard.
do that.
Yeah. I didn't hear your opinion.
I said, unless you're a Mandela or you're a Dangote, the richest man in Africa,
Yes.
or you're a Motsepe, I will take it. Otherwise, sorry.
What about
Manyathela.
status, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trivial like that.
Okay. We'll look at the story in News 24 today, connecting the dots between Becky Cele, Kat Nhlanhla, and the Tembisa Tenderdon. We'll also look at this, the assassination of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk in the US, what it means.
Sad.
So sad, and the videos that are going viral.
Watching that video.
Yeah, me too. And just what it means, the impact of that. And then it's Thursday, so we do a book, and our book of the week is about understanding occult crime in South Africa.
Yeah. Do you know what Sophie Mukwena tweeted about Charlie? Says bad things are happening in the United States of America. Lindy Wiener coming up after the news now at 12. Thank you for listening to the, what day is it today? Thursday edition of the Clement Manyathela Show. Let's meet tomorrow and chat between 9 and 12 for the Friday edition. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye-bye.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. We begin in KwaZulu-Natal, where a team from the Transport Department has been deployed to the scene of a crash in Imbali Township in Pietermaritzburg, where 5 children have died. The children were killed when the taxi they were travelling in crashed into a classroom of a preschool this morning. Police and